Welcome to episode 2 of our actual play recording of Delta Green Future Perfect Part 1. If you haven't listened to episode 1, you should definitely do that before you get any further here. My name is Shane Ivey. I ran this game for my friends here in our hometown, and we're going to pick up the action immediately after episode 1 ended, where our agents are continuing to investigate Clifford Potter and the murders, if that's what they really were, around Hellbend, California. Future Perfect is written by Dennis Detwiller. It's copyrighted by him. Delta Green is copyright and trademark of the Delta Green Partnership.
It sounds like we need to go visit the plant and go prepared.
Well, the only question is, do we go now, when it's going to get dark, or do we wait till tomorrow when we can see?
Let's wait till tomorrow when we're rested.
And can see.
We need. I really think that with books on radioactivity, we should get a Geiger counter.
Well, yeah, how are we going to find that? That's
I don't know, but we should find it.
Well, we found a gun at Walmart. Would they have Geiger
They
counters?
don't have Geiger
Not
counters.
at Walmart, no.
But there's a lot of radio.
I can.
Fire counters are not guaranteed by the Constitution.
I'll call Agent Grunberg and see if he can secure a Geiger counter for us and parcel.
Somebody Google how do you buy a Geiger counter. Oh, this the Bobcat too. You guys haven't checked the Bobcat.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Is that gonna be in the impound lot or
I'm
is
sure
it?
It's over at the
gas.
Sipping Gas.
Yeah.
Oh, is it over at the Sippin' Gas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because
I'm sure he watched it already.
Yeah, I'm sure. We can check it. We can check it in the morning with our Geiger counter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take our Geiger counter over
Well, it's massive.
and see if it's doing any dancing and flipping on its own.
It's sort of late afternoon now. You've been comparing notes and looking over all your things.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Let's
notes
not
in there.
handle. Let's do as little handling of that cube as possible until we can get the Geiger counter and see it's gone.
Okay.
But we'll carefully stash the new mega neuron.
Yeah, I mean
in the
we've
car.
taken the
Is there a
metal
safe in the
filled
hotel
with
room?
lip on it.
Yeah. You guys would between you know you're a librarian. You'd probably know that. I mean, gold doesn't hold radioactivity.
Right.
I mean, there's like one particular way you can manufacture, you can synthesize a kind of gold that'll hold radioactivity, but that's really rare, and you have to really it takes a very big process to synthesize it. It's artificial.
So let's just compare theories. Let's think about what we've got going here. So clearly we have an incursion. Clearly we have to clean it out and deal with it. You were thinking alien. We're thinking. What are we thinking of this? We don't know.
Time travelers?
Could be either.
I
mean, there's
could
that
be the lizard people.
dragonfly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is obviously some sort of alien, whether it's a,
Whether it's an invasion from the past or from outer space.
Hunt was obviously up to something. He was. There was something going on below his factory,
Yeah,
apparently.
so we're gonna go there, yeah.
He didn't seem to like humankind at all.
But at the same time, he was using his superior intellect to
Well, we are
Design.
Do
filling
something. We don't know what he was actually
design machines.
Yeah, machines to kill each other with.
Possibly. Yeah.
I mean,
But he
The
was-
wording on that weird ad makes me think that was another time issue. That was really antiquated. sounding
yeah,
ad.
it was. It was weird.
So, like, he'd been around for a long time, and his vocabulary was really stilted.
And his aversion to any meat, blood, anything like that, he would have to, if he was eliminating people, he'd
He
have to
was
find
staying in
way
a
to do it
hermetically
without-
sealed room, which makes me think that. Well,
He wouldn't be exposed to something.
it couldn't be.
Well, he left it on occasion. He'd go, they'd say.
Yeah, it couldn't be germs
Right.
because he would leave,
He
and he had his
exposed
and he had his
Yeah, this guy coming.
guard come in and out.
Right.
It must be an environmental sort of thing. The extreme heat and dry nature.
Protected. Right.
Yeah. And he preferred it even hotter and drier than it is
Here.
here.
The hottest,
Yeah.
driest place on Earth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
Where would you go that's hotter and drier?
Hell.
Mercury.
Sorry. The
Mercury's
center
pretty
of the Earth. Providing you could get all of the water out of it.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's pretty much.
I mean, I don't know of any diseases that cause people to. Well, I mean, I'm sure that there's some rare skin.
He said the sunlight didn't bother his
Conditions.
skin, just his eyes. He didn't like being in the sunlight for his eyes, so he wore the goggles.
Well, I mean, the sunlight here bothers my eyes too,
Well, yes.
reflecting off of the
That's true.
salt
So we're wearing these
labs.
standard issue federal agent sunglasses. That's what.
I'd get my tinted contacts in
Yeah,
too.
but there was a certain light that he,
Preferred.
well, not preferred, didn't had to have. I mean,
Yeah.
any fluctuation in that light at all made him insane.
And the plant food.
But at the same time, he didn't need to have it because he would wander around in the dark.
Well,
Yeah.
but I think to sustain himself, it sounds like he may be some sort of plant-based life form.
Maybe.
The blood bothered him, and he
Mhm.
only ate plants, needed the light.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Alright.
Maybe he's a sea slug.
Well, but the thing is, okay, but
They
that
focus
all that
on the
aside,
size.
that doesn't fit at all with these deaths that were mutilated with the blood. What's the heavy crushing?
Okay,
Maybe he's some.
All
what
that.
what weighs over half a ton and has 2 foot long or 2-inch to 6-inch
Blades.
blades that lived at the same time as
Not
these
velociraptors.
dragonflies?
Because they're
No.
only the size of chickens.
No.
Velociraptors are very small.
They were, yeah.
We might have a dinosaur on our hands.
It's probably not a not a
I mean,
monster.
the dinosaurs also lived
Yeah, much different.
way later than Meganura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Like,
long.
Meganura is as far back from the dinosaurs as dinosaurs
Close
are
from
on
us.
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 Could have been what was in the Meganuric era, John?
Nothing big. I'm not a paleontologist. I'm an archaeologist.
Damn it, Jim.
This is the first slide in my class. Here's what a paleontologist does. Here's what an archaeologist does. They're not the same.
I remember that slide.
Yes, you took that class.
If you're into paleontology, leave.
That's right.
Nah.
This never happened. Is my picture of dinosaurs and cavemen together.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we have to figure out the connection because I don't see the connection between
Well, we may not
how
get
these
that.
people died.
What we really have to do is find out whatever's causing it, stop it,
Right.
and clean up.
Maybe there's a time portal underneath the power plant
Maybe there is.
or whatever it is. The hunt plant.
You're thinking maybe Potter found this thing alive
Well,
and stuffed it in the jar?
Maybe. I mean, it's in very ridiculously good condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
it's
maybe-
kind of crunched,
I mean, it is a little crunch.
but it's
I do
But-
want to call Grunberg and see if he can get us any information on Aklo.
Well, we can Google it, probably.
Yeah, well, Googling it's going to give us the same conspiracy websites that she's found.
Oh, okay. That's what you found.
well, she's really good at sifting those kinds of
That's
things.
what you do.
Yeah.
Library science woman.
Yeah, well, why don't y'all see if you can decipher
Okay. I'm gonna try
some
to
of the runes that are on there.
Okay.
use magic Google. Try to decipher
Yeah.
some of that.
That,
Acloglyphs.
There are what are you guys doing while they're sifting through? They're going to be doing this the rest of the afternoon and into the night.
The rest of our increasingly short lives.
What are the agency types doing?
Yeah.
That's a good question. So our plan is tomorrow to 1, go and quickly inspect the bobcat with the Geiger counter, and then 2, go out to the plant itself. Perhaps even rent the bobcat. Do some movie. I mean, if
Well, if you're going to wait for the Geiger counter, that's tomorrow, sometime tomorrow.
by noon tomorrow, probably.
Do you want to get in the Jeep or whatever and just do a quick
Yeah, we can.
circumnavigation of the plant, see if we
Yeah.
find like any tracks or
Yeah, let's do
anything
that
like
this
that.
afternoon. Let's just drive out there, see if we can see where he had been messing around in the plant. We'll go to the site of his body being found and work towards the plant from there,
Yeah,
and just see if we can find tracks or anything he was doing.
yeah, we're gonna bring the canteens and some water
Yeah,
bottles.
that stuff's in our
Shot. Yeah.
Bring your car and everything there.
Yeah. Basically everything that's on that shopping list.
All right. So
At some point, I'm assuming we'll have to abandon the car and walk in.
Well, that's the whole
That's
thing we
where
were
the
waiting for
car
the
explodes.
Geiger counter for, to see how much of
We're
that
not
stuff
going to go
is
deeply into the
radioactive.
plant. We're just going to walk around, see
Okay.
where he was doing his stuff.
All right, just be
And see
careful.
if there's like any dinosaur tracks or whatever.
See if there are any dragonfly tracks.
Okay. So that's what we're doing for the afternoon while they do the documentary search.
yeah, so you guys are searching online, and I'll give you what you discover in a few minutes. All right, so the plant is about 2.3 miles from the center of Hellbend. Ruins of a formerly beautiful asphalt road. There's a sea of destroyed concrete is all that's left of it. About 500 yards out from the ruins is the remains of a chain link fence. There are big gaps all through it here and there. Either of you have any kind of engineering-like skills? Anything that would, that you'd know more than a complete newbie about this kind of machinery plant, this kind of plant, or anything like that?
I got nothing.
No, not really.
If there were satellite photos of it, I could interpret them for you. I have SIGINT, but nothing engineering.
Would you have thought to look up
Sure.
overhead shots
Yeah, we
of
can
the
totally Google
place?
that. That's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can Google Map one of that.
Yeah.
I tried to earlier, but I couldn't.
Google Play. You certainly go into Google Maps and zoom into this, which is pretty good resolution.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. And what's your SIGINT skill?
40.
Yeah. So looking at it like that, the way that the wreckage, sort of the pattern to the wreckage, doesn't look like an explosion. It looks like a collapse.
Like an explosion would have braided out from a single point, so things
Right.
would have been kind of knocked down in all directions from that point.
Right.
So in this case, it looks like things have just sort of fallen where they were.
Kind of
Maybe
like it
more
sort of
earthquake damage?
fell in on itself.
I don't know, like the opposite. So it collapsed towards center.
Yeah. So there's all that's left are these big concrete slabs that are broken into
Tilted.
chunks. Occasional metal strut that's sort of warped by some huge force of the disaster. A few, you can see. I don't know. If you're just driving around the outskirts, there's not much you're going to be able to see.
Do we eventually find his tracks and then out of the plant?
Yeah, and it kind of leads into the wreckage. And
There's nothing else unusual around there. You can search around looking for, honestly, other tracks or something.
from the outskirts.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to go in there yet until we get.
Yeah.
We got to get done with this. So let's wait. We'll go back and see what they find.
Yeah.
You brought the lead gloves with you, right?
Yes.
Just in case.
Yeah, it's sort of the plant is about, I don't know, it's like less than a mile from the sort of the bluffs, like that kind of drop off.
That's interesting. If you're talking about stuff being below the plant, why don't we, while we're out here, drive along the base of those bluffs and look for things like caves? There's a way to get under without going into the center of the plant.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Any of y'all have navigate?
Not very well.
The base 10%.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's driving?
I've got 40 in drive auto.
We both are federal agents. We have
Yeah.
the same skill set.
I'll probably be driving.
All right, you drive and I'll keep an eye out for things.
Okay, it's pretty rough going.
Oh, is it okay?
I mean, if you had navigate or you kind of had some way of planning your route out,
Right.
but as it is, it's kind of risky because
You say it's a mile from the plant to the bluffs or thereabouts?
3/4.
Well, we have Potter's map. Is anything on that map?
No, when you say
is that just a map
No,
of?
you're not even sure what the map is.
Okay.
Yeah.
sorry, so when you were talking about the bluffs, do you mean that they're bluffs that
The
drop
plant
off?
is here, and it comes over, and then about 3/4 of a mile away drops down, and
Yep.
just
Okay,
That's what
so
I'm
not,
thinking. It's like
yeah.
that way. If we go on the
Yeah.
base of that, you can go in below.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell that there's you can tell there's what looks like the remains of an old part that was kind of a dirt road decades ago
Right.
down there,
All
here
washed
and
out.
there. But you'll need to kind of drive around and get to it, which runs a risk of busting your car up a little bit
Okay.
if you do it really poorly.
All right, let's park the car somewhere. We don't want to risk it. I'm guessing we rent an SUV or something. But let's park that, and then hike out. What we think we can get to where we think we're like opposite the.
How long of a hike would that be?
We've got a few hours. I can hike.
But it's already late afternoon.
Mile, 3/4 of a mile.
In Death Valley, it's probably like,
That's hot as hell, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Even in May. Well, we've got water.
yeah.
We've got flashlights if we get.
Yeah, that's not that far.
We can hike a couple miles and get back in time.
Okay.
Okay.
Just hike along the base of the bluffs, looking for cave openings. Right
You
there.
don't trust my driving.
Nope.
I don't want to destroy the car and be stuck out here. That's my only issue.
Yeah.
It's a rental. I don't care about that. I got the insurance, but it's being stuck. I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so you start hiking. What all are you taking with you?
Guns, water, canteens, flashlights,
Okay.
work gloves. Anything else you can think of on that list we need?
I mean, I think right now, guns, the canteens filled with water, and the flashlights are all we really need at the moment.
Okay, I agree.
Because we don't know what we're coming to
Do you
find.
have
There's no
anything
reason
to
to.
communicate with
Yeah,
us?
we
That
have
was a
cell
cell phone
phones.
If we have signals.
service.
Yeah, if we have a signal here.
Okay.
Do we
Okay.
check in?
Roll the signal dice.
How times 5?
Nope.
Just in
Okay.
general.
48.
Sure, you got a crappy signal here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we give you a call that drops out a lot and just says, "Hey, we're going to go look on the base of this bluff, see
Okay.
if there's any entrances that go in under the plant. We'll be back in 2 hours." You don't hear from us, obviously. Check in.
Okay.
Okay.
The average human being can walk 3.1 miles per hour.
Good terrain, too.
It's on,
So-
yeah, it's on flat terrains, but you could walk.
2 miles along the base of the bluff and
Yeah.
come back.
Mm-hmm.
That seems
Sure.
fair enough.
Either
We
do you
just
have
both
any
have crappy
athletics
constitutions. So.
above base?
Um,
Really
no.
tired.
No, not above base.
Okay. So you start slogging your way through, and along the way, each of you make an athletics roll.
Okay.
Hooray, checkmark time.
Check mine.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, failed. Not a critical fail,
No,
but
just right.
All right. Along the way, you each manage to take a D3 in damage from tripping and falling, or jamming your foot in rocks, or some kind of horrible thing that
But if
happens.
you're
Two.
brand stepped in a hole.
ow.
Right.
Twisted my ankle. That hurts.
Anybody got first aid?
I've got 11.
Did you fail on that?
Yeah, I'll try it. I'll try it on
Keep
each
your
of
run
us.
going on. Well, you probably ought to help each other out.
Sure.
You're going to
Sure.
be at a penalty of trying to first aid yourself.
Okay. So you
If you-
try 9.
Okay.
Don't critically fail.
You break his ankle.
Which is easy to do.
Failure.
Just plain failure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the back of your sheet there, John, where it says, "If somebody tried first aid on you," put a check mark, because they did badly.
Badly, very badly, right. You want to try yours?
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
Please fail. What's it?
So get a little experience check.
Somehow stabs you in the neck with tweezers.
Twisted ankle.
All right, and then eventually you kind of limp your way along to where you kind of figured with your really poor navigation skills is you're coming close to where it's probably the nearest to the plant, and the land kind of at this point the bluff sort of drops down about 24 feet, and there's and you find a drainage culvert, like 12 foot by 12 foot concrete tube protruding from the bluff.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's 3/4 of a mile from the plant.
Yeah.
So something funky's going on there.
Well, it was a big plant that did a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that's. You know.
The culvert is awash in a spray of greenery.
Also weird.
These very small plants that each have like a little single red flower on them, growing in dribs and drabs
Any biology?
I've got
on a stream of water, like a sort of in a delta shape coming out
Fanning up from the culvert.
into the parched earth for about 5 yards out before it dries out.
Can I check to see if it's ancient plant matter with the biology? Or maybe not
sure.
ancient,
Yeah,
or
it
at least
smells-
familiar.
It smells rich and damp as you approach it, and the flowers, none of them bigger than about 1/4 of an inch across. It's a phylum that you haven't seen.
Okay, an allergy thing?
They
And I'm not a botanist or anything.
right. You know, they look just looking them over. I mean, they look primitive. They look kind of fern-like, but that they reproduce by spores rather than seeds. Kind of fragrant,
Very primitive.
but leave this sort of bitter aftertaste in your mouth after smelling it. What's your search skill?
50?
Yeah, there's also a lot of little bugs flying around the flowers.
Any really, really, really big bugs?
I'm sure between the two of us, we've probably been drinking out of our canteens rather than the water bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, I mean, there's a trickle of water, you know, kind of coming, a very small trickle of water.
I'm thinking that maybe we could top off our canteens with some empty bottles and collect some of the plants and bugs in the bottles.
My question is, do you carry around like evidence bags, plastic bags?
Why wouldn't
Or
you?
no?
You can if you want.
Yeah, I think you normally have a couple of those here. Ziploc
Sure.
label space.
Yeah, you notice that there's like the ground around the flowers, that you find the spore-covered corpses of hundreds of these little bugs.
Spore covered?
Yes, the thing's growing on. I'm not touching it.
Are there any
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got the rubber gloves, so use the gloves to collect everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then strip them off and leave them.
The
I'll strip them off
No,
and
put
them in
them in a
baggie.
bag and see what happens to the
Oh, yeah,
gloves.
that's true.
They get eaten.
Now tell us whether or not we actually want to come this way tomorrow.
That's true.
why don't each of you make a
Dex times 5.
no
Touch the Arcus or
make an intelligence times 5, but at minus 20%.
Okay, so 50 for me.
I made it.
Pass.
Okay.
Both of these do.
Well, you both kind of notice almost at the same time, you know, that there's a an indention in the mud of the culvert that kind of catches your eye. That at first it looks like maybe a natural just occurrence, but you don't think so. I mean, it looks like a part of a footprint.
Mm-hmm.
But really, really large. I mean, not shaped like a foot, but
Right. A track of some kind.
yeah, but huge.
We'll just zoom in on it with the phone camera and take a picture.
And tomorrow when we come out this way, we'll bring some plaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And face masks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stores.
If there's a hardware store, we can get all that stuff.
Well, probably at the 7 gas, to be honest.
That's true. They don't have their gas to go or whatever.
They try to carry
All
a
right.
little bit of
Well, we'll
everything.
drive back, and we'll get back at this point, or hike back. We're not going to go
Okay.
further now.
Oh, I wanted to look at the entrance of this culvert, especially towards the bottom of it, and see if there are like score marks from claws.
No, you don't see anything like that.
Okay.
But roll.
Ash.
Who's got
What
your alertnesses?
50.
Yeah. Okay. So you notice after you're there for a while, kind of studying everything, that there's this sort of odd noise coming from the pipe. It's kind of it's sort of this strange echoing clicking sound that kind of rises and falls over time. I mean, it sounds like mechanical or electronic in some way.
No, I'm leaving.
And
Or muggy.
Is it like getting louder or?
it sort of rises and then drops off again. The culvert has a slow sort of current of water about 2 inches deep. It's warm water. You can tell that the walls, from what you can see, are covered in this sort of deep green moss up to about hip height. And as you're paying attention over the course of a few minutes, the water kind of it sort of rises in speed and depth slightly. That kind of corresponds in some way with the clicking. It's not in direct sync, but it's
it follows the flow. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're getting the hell there. I'm leaving as quick as my twisted ankle will carry me.
Okay. All right. Well, then you eventually get back to the hotel, and
we'll show you guys the pictures.
And that's the bug corpses covered in spores.
We've got bags of bug corpses covered in spores and rubber gloves and pictures of dinosaur footprints. And
So you were looking into Aklo, and it's sort of looking through it. You have to follow some really odd sources. There are lots of obscure websites with names like Glyphforge and Inhuman Tones, arguments kind of rage as to the validity of it as an actual language, as opposed to something somebody just made up. And there's some. There's some of the crazier sites claim that it was a language of creatures that existed even before humanity, and other people more reasonably say that it was just a fake thing that some Victorian occultist or other invented.
But I'm sorry, go ahead.
And you find some references to the what are called the federal papers that are that are a sort of a resource that a lot of people talk about.
Papers. So if we Google Aklo federal papers, does anything come up?
You can find a PDF that's going around that's not going around, but is in different places. A scan that
Has symbols on it.
that are filled. The pages are filled with symbols that look a lot like those on the cube.
Oh, excellent.
Most of the scans are pretty good, but they don't lack a lot of detail. Some of the symbols are kind of dim, and others are cut off. And you can tell on some pages there's a sort of a vague impression of notes that were scribbled on the pages that you can't see because the scan wasn't good enough.
Well, and comparing that with the cube, with the ones on the cube, are we able to decipher any sort of meaningful
You eventually
word or
find it. Well, I mean,
words,
this isn't a glossary. I mean, it's just
random
images of,
Yeah.
of the letters.
But I think the fact that we have an actual artifact with those symbols on it confirms the existence of this, at least. I don't think it would be... Maybe they would be putting weird symbols from a made-up language on...
Who put these?
Have you met the internet?
The federal papers? Is there any way to know who put that?
Who posted
Together?
it or who wrote it? Or...
Yeah, or who, yeah. Federal papers are.
Stolen federal documents.
It's well, no, it's not. It's not named for that reason. They're the originals are kept in a special collection at Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts, and
Like your shirt, the one that's on your
Yes.
shirt.
yeah, that. It's like restricted stacks, which is to say that they're not supposed to be checked out or taken from the library because they're rare and special collections. From what you can find online, the papers were found in the belongings of a writer who vanished and then donated to the library by the authorities.
Who vanished?
Mm-hmm.
Any information on that writer?
Street.
Not much. Robert Blake, he was a writer of horror stories back in the 20s and 30s.
Did he love cats and hate women?
No. Not that anyone knows of. Different.
Beretta.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are a lot of people that say that he just made up the symbols himself to sort of pump up his fiction.
I would think not if there's material on this stuff.
But at the same time, this guy was.
Someone could have
around.
easily found this paper and then carved it into the
Yeah, I mean, if
hunt.
Hunt or if Potter found this where Hunt was, Hunt could have gotten, like, if that guy was in the 1920s and Hunt was in the what, 40s?
40s or 60s?
No, Montgomery. Montgomery Green. Potter's not that old.
No,
Yeah,
Potter's
it is.
not.
Oh no, Potter's
Well,
not that old. No.
No, Hunt
Yeah.
was the owner of
The fact.
the factory.
Montgomery Green worked for him.
Right, but
He's
Hunt, Montgomery Green was at the factory from like the 40s to the 60s,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so if that writer was in the 20s, there's no reason why,
Both of them could have known about it, could have seen those symbols and put them on a cube of gold.
or if Blake did make the language up, Hunt. I don't think Blake made the language up, but
That's a
it is a possibility that Blake made up the language, Hunt fell in love with it, assigned meaning to it
And carved it into a cube of solid gold.
for who understands rich people. The guy lived in a terrarium.
Well, so the plant stuff, what you were able to figure out about the plants, ties in with the Meganura, that we're dealing with some kind of weird time thing, right? These are really primitive plants that shouldn't
Yeah.
exist today.
Well, I mean, they
You
could.
haven't seen them around.
Well,
Theoretically, they're not as obviously outre as
sure,
as
yeah.
the
Yeah.
That
Dragonfly
requires sanity
corpse.
roll.
Right.
But they're
I mean,
weird.
it's just a
I
fern.
mean, you can find ferns all over the place.
Going crazy over a fern.
Yeah.
English
Fernophiles.
people went crazy over ferns.
Okay, so we're back and we obviously we're waiting now. Just gonna sleep for the Geiger counter.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, looking around online, you don't kind of confirms you don't find anything, any you don't find any
Meaningful.
any plants recorded in
Right.
anywhere that
We
match
can
the
look for these
descriptions
pictures, things
either.
we're not seeing them, right?
Right, and you've got enough biology skill, even though you're not particularly a botanist. You've got, with that much biology skill, you'd kind of know where to look and how to interpret it.
By the way, I'm going to run all my Google searches through some sort of anonymizer.
Oh, okay. Make an intelligence test and see if you figured that out before you started doing weird Google searches.
I have computer science.
That's true. You can make. You can do a. Whatever.
Yeah, I totally do.
Sure. Okay.
No, I've been doing this for years.
Control Shift Incognito.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I don't want, because obviously it's going to red flag
I mean,
somebody.
it's not gonna fool the NSA.
No, but it's going to red flag somebody
Yeah.
at some point that these weird things.
Mhm.
Project Prism.
Yes.
So that night, you're sort of continuing to do your research into the night. What's your
No, I'm just okay. No.
what's your constitution, Penelope?
It's 10.
No.
Okay.
Listen.
Penelope, make a sanity test.
Okay. Oh wait, that's not the dice I need. I need this and this. Yeah, no.
No. Okay. Well,
Those
you
are critical failure.
knock a
Yeah.
d6 willpower points off, and you stay up reading crazy conspiracy theory sites
6.
Oh, mercy.
late into the night.
So I lose 6?
Yeah.
6 willpower?
Sanity.
No, not 6 sanity.
Well,
6 willpower points.
Oh. No.
And you don't hardly get any sleep.
How many willpower do I get back for a night's rest?
D6.
Oh, I guess we should have gone to like a pharmacist to get pills for our bruises and shit.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
pills
We'll
for
get whatever.
For medicine.
I mean, whatever. We'll get some Neosporin and some ibuprofen and stuff.
Some ace bandages.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be us making medicine, or would that? No, well, I guess
Well,
that would
are
be
you-
first aid.
Are you going to the the clinic?
No.
To
You
get
drive
your
for 3
twisted
hours to see your twisted ankle.
ankles and whatnot? Well, no, I mean there's going to be a
Doctor.
doctor or somebody
Yeah.
at Furnace Creek or accessible to Furnace Creek.
Yeah, I'm sure they have hiking injuries all the time.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just go to their
Sure.
local nurse and be like, "Hey, I twisted my ankle hiking. Help, please."
Okay.
She'll turn around and be like,
She'll look at my makeshift splint and be like,
you're actually doing more damage
What?
with this.
"What do you think you're doing with that?"
Why would you do this across your joint? This doesn't even...
Yeah, there's she can replace your wraps and whatnot, but can't really do much for you immediately.
Okay.
But you can each since you get a good night's sleep, you can each make a con times 5 roll.
Well, we don't all get a good night's sleep.
Pass.
I missed it by 1.
Pass by 2.
My little brother
Okay,
sprained his ankle really badly in the creek.
You get a hit point
And
back.
splinted
Alright.
using his jacket. Like, didn't
Alright.
like, cut a strip off of it tight.
Yeah, I'll say, John, you can get a hit
Around
point back as well.
a stake.
She got hit. She
Here's
was
his
gonna
foot and here's his ankle, and this thing is like digging.
Penelope,
Yes.
how badly did you miss your sanity test by when you were trying to get this out?
She got 80.
I got like an 89 or something like that.
What did you need it for?
For my sanity, 55. I missed it badly.
So 34.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to be at minus 20 to pretty much everything today because of exhaustion. Unless you want to start,
Popping
getting
pills.
lots of stimulants or drinking tons of coffee
And
or
good coffee.
if you figure you have some really heavy duty stimulants to get you through days like this, then you can use those.
I can't imagine that I wouldn't. I mean, I'm carrying in the pharmacy of Ambien and
Sure.
Gotta have some uppers for those days that the Ambien is sort of
Not working.
not working.
So what's your upper choice?
Same math.
No, it's not hardcore. But you know, like those energy drinks that are just terrible for you.
5 hour energy.
5 hour energies.
They're still working
So,
for
so
you.
nothing, not a prescription drug.
You don't even have
I
Adderall?
no, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's as long as you're keeping yourself up on with that, then you're only at a -10 on everything instead of a -20. About 10 a.m. Your delivery arrives. Bring you a dagger counter.
Okay.
The drone takes off.
Put the batteries in. And turn it on. I guess. I don't know. You tell me what you do.
Sure.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
goes
right.
crazy.
It's higher than you would. It's higher than you would expect on the two of them. Not catastrophically high, but a little elevated.
I'm guessing background radiation here is probably high anyway.
Maybe.
If there are a lot of fission bolts out here in the desert.
You can probably talk to the Borax Museum lady about it.
Who did you
about,
point out? Me and Harley?
Yeah.
What about the
They need more things to
notes
talk about.
or the cube
Are they radioactive?
or the dragonfly? Making your
The notes and the dragonfly, a little, not a lot. The cube, you betcha.
I'll try it.
Damn it.
I knew it was gonna be
50 to 100 rens or so.
Yeah.
Rads per whatever it is.
Yeah, we need to get a bloodline box or something to stick that in.
Man, I live
turn one of the
there.
gloves inside out and tie it around it.
There you go. It'll
Yeah,
work.
if you wanna shove it in one of those gloves, you can. That'll help.
Yeah.
How much is a lethal dose, by the way?
A lot more than that. Holding the cube like on your close to your body for an hour or so will probably start making you sick, or making you feel kind of poorly. It's not a really sharp emitter.
Okay. Well,
Any radiation is more radiation than I want to get.
Don't go outside.
let's what we were gonna get some face masks and crap anyway.
If we can go to, is there a hardware store nearby?
No, I mean,
Are
there's
there
nothing?
there are shops. They're not particularly hardware, but there are stores that have.
Well,
Well, the
Supplies.
sipping gas at the very least would have cleaning supplies. Surely they would have face
We
masks.
could get a bunch of
Well, what do you
pencils
look
and
for?
tie them around.
plaster,
Yeah, you can find
face
plastic.
masks, like those little.
Sure, you can find building supplies.
Yeah, building supplies things.
Sure. Oh, the Bobcat? I forgot about the Bobcat. Were you?
We're heading
Yeah.
to the Bobcat now that we have our Geiger going.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today we stick together because we're going to the thing and then
Yeah.
the Bobcat and then the
Yeah, so the Bobcat is, it's kept in a shed behind the sipping gas. And, do you just, I mean, what do you do?
We'll go to
Tell
Jarvis.
you want to look at
Yeah, I'll
it?
go to Jarvis. Tell him that I want to thank him for helping out our associates today and yesterday, and that we just want to take a quick look at the Bobcat because it was involved in the death.
and get the key. Get the key so we can start it.
Why do we need to start it? To see if it turns turtle? Not
See
random.
if it just starts jumping around trying to kill us.
It does tricks.
All right.
Roll over.
Make sure he's not around.
Yeah, he'll give you the key and just ask you to please, don't burn gas in it. Yeah, so it's you have the Bobcat top back, small one-man propane-powered vehicle for light-duty lifting and plowing, and it looks like that.
Like a Bobcat.
Okay.
And it has a big scooping blade, not like forklift blades.
Right.
And it's kind of it looks like it's been cleaned only half-heartedly.
It sprayed the blood off, but didn't bother to make
They
sure it
hosed
was-
it down.
Yeah.
If that, I mean, it looks like he started to and then just gave up or lost his stomach for it or something. It's just it's just sort of sitting in the shade, kind of stinking up the place. It smells like ammonia. I mean, it smells like old urine. Is what it smells like.
Does our Geiger counter go off at all?
No.
The Geiger it? No?
Not really.
All right. So
Too bad we
investigator.
don't have like luminol or anything like that to see the. Well, we have the pictures. of the
Luminol, you
blood
can have
spray.
luminol.
Why do we need to
That's
see
all that forensic skill.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, yeah. I'll spray it down and we can take a look at it, see if there's anything we notice.
Yeah, it glows like crazy.
All over?
Any patterns other than?
No, just splashing. There's blood still on it. There's also dried blood on the side. There's also on the side. There's sort of some other ammonia-smelling effluvia that's coating it a little heavier. I mean, it's long dry,
Yeah.
It comes out when you paint it with the luminol.
Yeah. I'll scrape some of that off and see if. I'll save it and see if we can.
Is this lizard cake?
Yeah.
You got, what's your biology again?
50? 40?
The way that it sort of splashed on, it looks like some kind of big predatory animal's territorial marking. That's what it looks like,
Yeah.
and it kind of seems like it's been rubbed up against repeatedly, which sort of spread Potter's blood around too.
My Bobcat.
Yeah, and it's kind of dried to this thin, shiny sheen on the surface of that side of the machine.
Interesting.
Is there a way to get a scraping of it or anything to
Sure.
test it later?
Yeah, you betcha.
Assume there's a later.
Sure.
So who else is looking the thing over and give us some detail about how you're inspecting it?
I mean, I don't know any.
I want to look and see if there's any indication that Potter was in the Bobcat when he was killed. Like if you can see from the luminol pattern, is the blood spraying? From the photos, it didn't look like it, right?
Right. You don't think so?
Yeah, he wasn't standing. He wasn't sitting in the
Right.
driver's seat.
Right. He was standing beside it or something.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Soft.
There's something marked this. I wonder if bringing it into the compound is going to bring whatever mark.
If you peed on it, over it, because that's what,
Wait,
if they smell something, I'm being serious. Like, pee on it and bring it back out there. Because then
Yeah.
the urine smell
Maybe bring
is
it back out
gonna...
there, then pee on it.
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah.
Get it here. The gas will go. Should they go?
Where you know it.
Let's
but he's
rent
looking.
it. We'll rent it.
We'll rent it.
Okay, that's fine.
Sure.
Can I dress up like a big game hunter?
Yeah,
given our knowledge of the terrain to get back to the culvert, could we get this thing out to the culvert or no?
Yeah,
Unlikely.
that's pretty iffy.
Yeah, that's what I figured too.
And,
And it's only 12 by 12, right? The opening.
yeah,
Yeah,
it would.
and it's not like exactly level with the
Right.
the ground either.
So unlikely we'd be able to take this in that way. If we're
No.
going to do that, we'd have to take it in through the top.
But that might not be a bad idea though if we took it out there to
Leave
try
it.
and lure something to it and then went back up
Yeah.
on top of the bluffs.
Went back underneath.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like if we found a way to get it out below the bluffs and then they could stay on top of the bluffs where we left it to watch it while we were going back and then we could observe it from a safe distance.
Y'all could observe it from a safe distance, but we're still there.
No, you're on top of the bluffs.
Okay.
We go and drop it off and then return to where y'all are
Okay.
at.
All right. As long as we're not being left with the.
Well, no.
Okay.
Are you saying leave it up by the factory or leave it by the culvert?
Below the bluffs. It doesn't have to be near the culvert.
Somewhere down
But
there.
if we wanted
like I
to
said,
do-
even driving it around
It's gonna be
to
hard
the
to-
bluffs below there is going to be kind of iffy because
Okay.
it's
The terrain's so bad.
yeah.
Is it not?
It's tracked, but it's not like I don't.
I mean, there's the remains of an old road there, but you haven't explored it enough to figure out exactly where
It's only
how
roaded
to
out.
get
and
to
stuff,
it
too.
from the actual road
Yeah.
because nobody's used it in
Yeah.
50 years.
It's true.
So there's nowhere to leave it around there where we could observe it.
We just couldn't
You got
get
the
close.
I-
giant ruins.
We could try it, and if worst comes to worst, we'll hire the guy a tow truck.
I don't think we should take it to the culvert. I don't think we're going to get
I
very
don't think
far.
we should take it to
But what's your drive heavy machinery?
But seriously,
Yeah.
this happened near the factory, right? Near the plant.
Sure.
Yeah.
So clearly, it's not going to matter how close it is to the culvert. Let's just take it near
No,
the.
I was just thinking. I wasn't thinking about the culvert. I was just thinking about the bluffs because the bluffs are elevated above it. If there is some big creature out there killing people, we could at least get a bead on it without being where it could
Risking
get to
our
us.
lives, right then, right at that moment, because it's sniffing out the.
I don't think we're going to be able to do that though.
I'm going to suggest that we not
Yeah.
worry about that for now. Let's just go see what we can find out from that culvert with the Geiger counter to make sure it's safe to go in.
I mean, if there is some creature out there killing people, it's taken its damn slow time doing it because 2 months went between these two
It's
killings.
a lizard. It doesn't need to eat that often.
So, I mean, I doubt that we need to hunt the thing down immediately.
We just need to, it's not
Find
in
out
danger of
what's
killing
going
someone
on.
else today.
Right.
We can do it. So it's going. All right, well, I'm going to vote for going to the culvert ourselves.
Mhm. Get the plaster
Right.
made of the thing.
Footprint. Assuming it's still there.
See what that is, right? If it is a footprint.
Are you when you go out there? Are you driving the Bobcat out there?
No,
No, we're
We're
leaving
not
Bobcat
even
behind.
going to rent the Bobcat and leave it where it is.
Okay.
We're going to just take the SUV as far as we could, like we did yesterday. Also, just being very careful hiking out here. It's very.
The trainers.
Do y'all have weapons?
I have a crowbar.
Wow.
I'll hand you my
Car.
pistol.
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure.
I should have a pistol because I've got firearms.
I'm a librarian. I'm not comfortable with a pistol.
How much firearms do you have?
You're an American. You've watched enough
I've done a lot of training.
TV to know how to.
I'm also
Yes,
a
you can have a
librarian,
pistol.
so I know how inaccurate television is.
What kind of pistol do you want? Or you want something else?
Do you have
Tell me
any?
what your character's
No,
likely to have purchased.
Probably, I would imagine she like a 9mm handgun.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, just write that on the back of the sheet there.
I can tell you the stats on it because I have it.
Yeah. 40%.
Your base range is 15 meters. That does a D10 damage.
All right. So you drive out,
Yes.
and okay. So heading out there, Penelope and Harley, each of you roll athletics. Roll at a +20 because you've got guides who are sort of
Am I at a
telling you
+10?
where to be careful.
You're
So you're at a net +10, right? Because you're at -10 because of all of your exhaustion,
Exhaustion.
even though you're
Done.
jittery from.
This is the gravel
Oh, yeah.
pile where we
Okay,
slid
all
down.
right. So you don't hurt yourselves
Yeah, don't
clambering
fall into
around
silver.
out there.
Yeah.
And
Do we need to make them again, or?
nah, you don't. And you find yourselves back at the culvert. It's whatever it is, sort of noonish probably, late afternoon, something like that.
Noonish.
Early afternoon.
Hot.
You might have gotten lunch before you came out, since you were planning on rooting around a while.
Yep.
So we'll say 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And you're at the culvert, and as you're kind of looking around, it's, you all see what we described earlier, the flow of water and the kind of strange
Carpet of
mechanical
flowers.
clicking that sort of rises and falls, and the carpet of moss and little teeny tiny flowers,
Are we able to find that footprint
bugs
again?
and dead bugs and
Well, first
yeah,
let's
you
radio it. Let's scan it.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere around too.
So when you scan, it's you're looking around and you're scanning it for a while, and at first it's picking up a slight rise, but not substantial one.
I want to check it in relation to the flow of water and the flicking.
Well, when the clicking sound picks up, sure enough, the Geiger counter shows a pretty sharp increase, and then a minute or 2 later, the water starts flowing heavier, and then after about 11 or 12 minutes, it fades off to nothing again, and stays that way for about 15, 16 minutes before the cycle begins again. Yeah.
So the clicking noise is something happening down the tunnel, and then which increases the water flow, which gets to the end of the culvert slightly later, carrying more radioactivity, and then fades out. So we can
Like slightly more radioactivity, or?
It says we
Is it
start a
dangerous?
noticeable increase, right? But is it dangerous levels?
Is it at dangerous levels?
Like, do we need to get bunny suits to explore this place?
If you spend more than an hour or so in the culvert, at any depth, it's going to be dangerous.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're going to want to hike all the way in there to the 3.
Do we want to preemptively take anti-rad medication?
Is there such a thing?
Yeah.
Yes, and definitely we do.
Well, where do we get that?
Oh,
Amazon?
Amazon has it.
Well, I mean, I would have said, if I knew such a thing existed, when we ordered the Geiger counter from Amazon,
Yeah.
that we would have gotten some of that.
Sure.
Make an intelligence roll. One of you, whoever figures would make
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Well, but reading the instructions on that, what does it tell us? I mean, how helpful is that stuff?
Oh,
You have to take
I've
it.
got it written down somewhere else. I would expect you'd want to take it an hour or 2 before
We probably would have
exposing
taken
yourself
it before
to
we came
dangerous
over.
levels of radiation.
Okay, sure.
It prevents your thyroid from shutting down when
That's a
you're
plus.
exposed to radiation. It doesn't really, it keeps you alive long enough to get treatment for radiation sickness.
I'm not sure I'm that dedicated to the cause.
I
I mean,
don't care about the thermochemistry. Come on.
well, in any case, we'll have instructions on how to take it if we want to. The question is, then the question becomes, well, first of all, after
Would you have thought to order
Radiation suits.
NBC suits?
I doubt that. Do you think?
I mean, if we're going this far,
Well,
we might as
we
well.
did suspect radiation. That's why we
Yeah.
have all his notes, and we did order a Geiger counter. So I guess, yes, it's quite possible we could have.
Yeah, if we're gonna get the medication, we might as well get the suits.
So you make another intelligence roll at -20 this time.
Okay. Yes. Is that right?
Sure.
I'm pretty smart.
We got four suits all tailor fitted. Not tailor
Yeah,
fitted.
Taylor. Make a fashion.
Taylor Swift.
Well, we're going to time it
If
off,
you-
obviously, based on the clicking.
If you know you're going to be exposed to radiation, you should begin administration 1 day prior
Okay.
to.
Wouldn't have had it.
Well, let's go back tomorrow. It's going to help. I mean, it's going to take a day to kick in.
Yeah, but if we've got the
It
suits,
should minimize our exposure anyway. All right, well, I'm going to say, first of all, we're going to let the first wave of radiation tech come by, die down. Let's pour the plaster cast in that hole and see what it looks like.
yeah.
That's got to set up for an hour anyway, probably, or something close to it. We'll just go away from the stream, wait by the, back off, 50 yards or something. Watch
Okay.
the culvert.
And if you're in a
Put all
radiological
your-
emergency,
get all your
it's
gear
1
together.
tablet per day.
Put your suits on, and
Yeah.
you have to like gray tape the seals all together
Okay, we can all work on each other's suits that way.
to seal them. And
Yeah, I'm sure
yeah,
it's
it's super hot, and you're pretty much at a you're going to be at a penalty to just about everything that you do while wearing these big bulky horrible things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
better get radiated. I'm pretty happy to not get radiated.
We should all make sure we've got our canteens plus 1 or 2 bottles of water inside our suits with us.
Yeah.
It'll be tricky, but
We'll
Do
just
it.
strap on the belt,
Make it
put the
happen.
pockets or something.
I mean, we don't have to put the helmets on until we're ready to go in anyway.
You could probably get some of those like
Oh, the little
backpack water bottles,
Yeah.
with a sippy straw
yeah.
Yeah.
out there. I'm sure they sell those like gangbusters in the Furnace Creek Hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the low price of $75 an
There
hour.
we go.
All right, so let's flip up the plaster cast when it's dried.
All right.
See what it looks like.
Yeah, you've got a good forensic skill. You take a good casting of it, sure.
Do you want me to roll anything, or
No.
okay?
Well, what's it look like? Giant 3
It,
ton
oh
lizard.
yeah.
You should definitely.
Well,
not
whatever it
take this
is,
if
you
you're
still
not
don't have a
exposed to
really
radiation.
clear shape of it. Whatever it is, you estimate it weighs between 1,200 and 1,300 pounds.
Enough to crush somebody with legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like it's
And
probably
recovery.
the ball of a heel.
That's ironic.
Interesting.
What was it? I missed the last
It's a
part.
heel.
Oh,
Big. Something that weighs over 1,000 pounds.
okay.
I'm not sure one shot is going to really be enough to deal with this thing. But we're going to see what we can do.
Yeah, I'm loading scatter shot into it, and it's a pump action. It's not a double barrel, so
Okay.
All right. Put our helmets on or whatever, or head things on and go in.
sure. I've got like a little pouch filled with
Shells.
shells.
Yeah. It's hard to hear because all you
Yeah.
hear is your own breath, and but you can kind of yell and make each other heard.
That's right.
And
Get flashlights.
yeah.
So I'm going to time it so that we have the maximum time between cycles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'll be about 15 and a half minutes.
Right. Let's see how far. I mean, we can get 15 minutes if we get to the source of the noise.
So you set off into the culvert.
What is that?
It sort of it winds its way beneath. It's initially kind of a straight shot, and then it has to kind of turn from time to time. And after a few minutes of sort of fumbling around and walking through the stream, that's at its low F, but it's still a couple of inches deep, so you're sort of splashing through. And you get nearer to the sound of the clicking, and then and you eventually you find a what looked like it was probably a utility room built into the side of the thing for maintenance or something like that, and it's kind of shifted and kind of off center now because of the damage to the structure, but inside that there's an orange crate, and propped on top of the orange crate is a kind of a homemade Geiger counter. It's like the innards of an old radio that have been kind of rewired together.
Like Potter put together, maybe?
Maybe.
Let's scan our own Geiger counter through here and check it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the readings are similar, consistent, right?
A little higher in the background.
What's inside the crate?
Yeah.
It's just like an orange milk crate. I mean, it's
Okay.
Not like a big
right.
like the other thing. Okay.
There are a couple of discarded diehard batteries dumped nearby, and then the one that is powering his handmade Geiger counter. It's clicking through a single hand-wired speaker. And right now, it's just sort of a barely audible occasional click.
Interesting.
So that's what was.
Is there like another entrance or exit from
Well,
this?
I mean, the main tunnel keeps going further. Yeah, beyond.
But no other way out of that main.
That's just over the
No,
side.
it's just yeah, exactly.
So I wonder if that's the noise we hear is his thing picking up when the flow of the water comes through.
We would be able to recognize the same sound.
Is it the same sound?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
you
the
follow
low.
it to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's obviously the water that's the radioactive element that's coming through periodically, and he's picking up on it with that thing.
Yeah. I wonder if this is. Yeah.
I say we keep moving.
Yeah.
Before we don't waste a lot of time in here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Onward.
We'll keep going.
After a little while longer, let me think. That's
Talking about 3/4 of a mile. If we can go about 3 miles an hour,
that's reasonable. I think.
then you're talking about what?
It's a mile every 20 minutes. So,
So
quarter of a mile,
15 minutes, which means assuming your estimation is right, then basically it's gonna be peaking about when you get to the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you eventually find the tunnel is obstructed. There's this these jagged, ruined concrete blocks that have kind of tumbled in and tumbled over, and you can tell beyond it. There's a large. You can sort of hear the echoes that there's and you can hear water kind of dripping in there.
Does it? Like, how big of a pile is it? Like, would it take us like days to clear out, or?
No, I mean you could climb over them. It's just
Very
going to
careful.
be you'd have to be really careful, and
So is there an opening that we think the water's going to come through at some point?
you don't know. I mean it's sort of trickling through the window underneath the wreckage here.
So it doesn't look like it just overflows.
Right.
Does it look
Like,
like
this doesn't
something,
look like a dam. It's just
Yeah, exactly.
Does
Yeah.
it look like something pushed its way out, or
No, it looks like this. It just
Crumbled.
there was a collapse,
Okay.
and it particularly
Part of the heart
of it particularly.
explosion, which wasn't an explosion.
Does it look
Yeah.
like a recent collapse, or does it look okay?
Like moss growing over the edges and things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever left that footprint didn't come out this way.
Or maybe it did.
Wouldn't think so.
All right. Well,
I mean, above the tunnel is pretty huge, right?
Right.
It's like 12 feet. So the wreckage is maybe half that. It's not like immensely high.
So
what about
it just is going to it's just going to take some effort to scale over it.
What about the ceiling above the collapse? Does it look like there's empty space above that, or does it just look like?
Yeah, I mean, there's parts of it that are just
that fall down as part of
right,
the
naked earth, right, where the tunnel, the concrete of the tunnel collapsed, and when the whole place imploded.
So not like there was a chamber above there, just like round.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And yeah.
Well, I say we very carefully.
Yeah.
So one person at least very carefully clamber up and shine a flashlight over there.
Is anyone particularly athletic?
I'm guessing none of us are.
Yeah.
What the?
Okay, well, I guess I'll volunteer.
No.
I'll slowly and carefully try and make my way.
Take your time.
Okay.
BRP problems. Get a plus.
Roll athletics at a +20, even with your penalty for the soup making you all clumsy.
I am taking the rope with me, by the way, just to maybe help out whoever's behind me.
The water is kind of picking up, and the current is kind of picking up, and your Geiger counter is clicking, rising too.
Pass.
Okay, so you
you
scale up.
So this collapse and this rubble piled up to about 6 feet in the tunnel.
Okay.
So
At this sort of part of the tunnel that you've come to, and you kind of clamber over it without it's laborious and kind of treacherous, but you clamber over,
carry your suit,
clamber through safely.
It's got your attention now.
You can see that beyond that there's a larger room than you would expect. It's about 30 by 45 feet across, and it's very busy with wreckage. There's you can tell just sort of shining your flashlight around. There's this was probably kind of a drainage center for the plant. So looking up, there's you can see where it's all kind of collapsed in and crunched together, and there's lots of collapsed pipes overhead that are long dry, and these sort of rusty, precarious, half-fallen ladders leading up to rickety catwalks, and that are sort of hanging in space, and there's little closets and alcoves kind of here and there that were set up for maintenance, and more interesting than that is
The dinosaur.
in the there is a shape, this tall, like at least 12, maybe 12 and a half foot wide and tall stone archway in the not quite center of the chamber there, and it's tilted forward at about a 12-degree angle and kind of pinned in place by debris that's collapsed around it. From where you are, it's this very dark stone.
So it looks like for our history, anthropology people to look at.
Yeah, and looking at it from the angle that you are now.
About how far away is this from where I'm at? Like 20, 30
probably,
feet away?
Yeah, 20 feet.
Okay.
It's not all that far.
So this collapse in the tunnel was pretty much at the entrance to this wide room.
Right.
Okay.
The shape of it matches really well that drawing that you found in Clifford Potter's house. And you can tell there's sort of inside the archway to your flashlight, you're not getting a really clear look at it because you're sort of at an angle, but you can tell that there's the inside of the archway is this thick, deep gray mist that kind of drifts out, but not very far, and it kind of fades out inches from the arch.
It looks like we see where the cube should go.
The mist sort of occasionally kind of twirls and twists and congeals into little clouds, but never drifts far from the arch before evaporating. And roll sanity.
Pass.
Okay.
Alright, well, I'll call everything I'm saying down to my colleagues. And say, I'm gonna climb on down to the other side. You can use the rope and follow up after me. Be aware that something strange is happening.
There's some weird shit.
Well, I guess I wouldn't find it that strange if I didn't lose any sanity.
But strange.
Something weird.
Yeah,
Weird.
And we did bring the cube with us, right?
Yeah, we have.
Did you?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I thought we had said that we did.
Or did you? Okay.
I mean, yeah, we have it wrapped in the.
It was
One
carried
is
well. It's
gloves.
good and heavy.
Whoever has the highest strength.
Who's that?
Not me.
I've got a 9.
Please
9.
don't.
I've got an 8.
God,
You
we
people
are
need to
all
go to the gym.
terrible.
Okay,
I'm a
well,
librarian, okay? I have little carts to
I
do
guess
with
it's
books.
Dressner then.
Do you go along with that, Dressner?
I didn't hear it, sorry.
You're carrying the cube, the gold cube that's wrapped in the
Glove.
the lead lined glove.
Terrible idea.
I don't think Dressner wants to be the one
I just
carrying.
think we should go and get some dynamite.
Dynamite?
So I think we would have brought the cube. Well, maybe dynamite. I don't.
Well, see, the
You don't
problem.
want to carry the cube. Somebody else want to carry the cube?
I like the
I don't
cube.
want to carry. She wants to carry the cube. The librarian's carrying the cube.
The problem with the dynamite is we
Yeah.
need to figure out what's going on here. The dynamite is a good plan for stopping it, but I've got the
Is
feeling.
it? The collapse didn't stop it.
I've got a good feeling though that really the cube's going to be the answer because there's a different symbol on each facing, right?
Yeah.
So probably whatever facing we put in there is going to change something. Like I personally, I get the feeling like what we're dealing with here is a portal, a gate to a different time or place, and this cube is the key. And it could be the key to open it up or to close it.
Oh, yeah.
But the
well,
problem is that there's 6 sides and we don't know what any of them do.
Yeah, that's true.
And we could experiment with it, and 1 in 6 chances say we're right, or that maybe we could try again, but we don't know if we get second chances. I mean, what's his name? Potter got it out,
Yeah, but
or maybe he just found it next to it, and the explosion is what knocked it out.
well, that could be too. Well,
But
wasn't
anyway,
it
we don't
exploded,
even
it
know
was
if
a
the cube
collapse?
goes to this thing except for this drawing. So
Did
2
you
points,
say you
7.
climbed all the way inside? And
Yeah.
Looking around.
yeah, well, I'm not gonna like investigate far, but
You get eaten by a dragon.
I did climb all the way down while they're clambering over.
Okay. All right. So as they're clambering over, each of you needs to roll athletics. We'll say at a plus 40 this time because you've got the rope and she's kind of helping. You're helping each other.
Well, they also watched me climb up, so they saw the places where.
I did not make mine.
At plus 40?
How?
Well, on -10, it was only +30 to me.
Oh right, because she's a sleepyhead.
Yes, like I needed a 60 and I
barely-
rolled a 65.
The caffeine twitches started setting in as you.
Apparently.
All right.
I made it, but just barely.
Okay. What about you, Dressner? What are you're not having any of this nonsense.
I go up there. I fail.
Even at plus 40?
At 96.
All right. So Dressner and Penelope from England.
From
Roll,
England.
Obviously.
Each
Yes.
of you roll a d4 minus 1.
3.
4.
No, -1.
Well, 3. Yeah.
Okay, so at different points, you each of you managed to catch yourself on some piece of rebar sticking out, or you like stumble and fall and knock your face into a jagged corner of concrete,
Yeah.
and take 3 points of damage, and you've got a nice bloody
Badly.
hole jagged into your suit.
Great. That's great. That's great.
With
My
your
friend
suit,
is terrible.
with your
This is
suits
fine.
leaking, it smells really rich and verdant in here, like way more than it should. I mean, you can see there's moss around, and there's things that's
It's like
and
a lush
that.
grassland
Yeah.
smell.
And as you're coming in, actually, you were coming in as the radiation was picking up and peaking, and the smell increases in intensity, even as you're clambering over into the big room here, which is almost certainly safe for you.
Not at all. I don't plan to stay here very long at all.
You probably got gray tape if you want to hurry.
Yeah, well,
tape
we'll
that shit
quickly
up.
tape it all up. Yes, the two of us will tape each other's chairs up, but we still have cuts and things.
Yeah.
It's great entry.
And whatever bacteria was in it.
Yeah. Sort of.
So when we get closer to investigate, it looks like this. Only
Yeah,
tilted.
and there are other little holes there that are covered up by debris, like the way that it's sort of tilted into the wreckage. Parts of it
It's
are
like
covered
rocks.
up. Yeah,
Like
but you can kind of see there's glint of gold in some of those little alcoves of other gold cubes.
Do we?
It's interesting. Do we notice a pattern?
Oh, and next to that thing, there's on one of the piles of rubble, well out of the way of the water. There's an old army bag, not all that old, that has pieces of electronic equipment, Sony like camcorder, and tape recorder. Old there's a camera that's tied to a 5-foot long selfie stick.
Yeah.
Is it polar? Is it
Radioactive.
Sorry, my brain. Is it digital? Can we look at any pictures that are on there?
Every piece of the electronics is totally fried.
Yeah. No, I know what he was going for though.
Trying to stick it through and see what's
Yeah,
in the
and I'm guessing that the water is pouring out of this thing.
Mm-hmm. Right now it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Get
so
out of the way
here's
of that as
something.
much as possible. I
Yeah.
guess we'll just stay up on the pile of rock if it floats underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and with me being in the other room, I'll just
Well,
get
I
up
think
to higher
everybody's
ground.
climbed
Yeah,
in
we've
there now.
climbed
Yeah.
in there with you.
That's why they
Yeah.
We're
got
together
dinged
Yeah.
up really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the two of them are bloody. They've each gotten hurt themselves pretty badly climbing in there.
Yes. That's as strong.
Too old for this. She said. 42.
Okay, well, we'll take some pictures of this place.
So is this the arch we see?
Yeah, your camera's jacked.
It is.
And phones and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
Yay!
Great.
Our Geiger counter's the only thing working. It's like,
Well,
Yeah, even your flashlights are being a little sketchy the longer they're in here.
I mean, we think you know what that is.
Is there a pattern to?
Those are the slots.
Yeah.
These are slots for cubes, right?
yeah. The cubes. 2 of the cubes are there. The gold cubes
Are in
are
the
in
arch?
there. Do they have the patterns that match our gold cube?
Or some.
I mean, they maybe have something, but you can't see them.
Yeah,
well.
because
But
it's
it's
in front of
it's-
the rubble.
Yeah, it's all kind of You can just kind of tell there's a glint there. You can't make out details.
Let's grab that army bag with us just in case there's
Something's out. I'll put it down.
yeah. Are there any other exits from this room that seem accessible anyway?
No.
I wonder if you originally came down. Do we think we're below the plant at some point?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
Somewhere
there's you
in
can
that
tell
area.
you can tell it used to be connected to the
Right, there was a way to get up to the surface from here.
right, but everything
Yeah,
was
instead there were
crunched
catwalks that
together.
were just like
Right, it's all
falling
falling
and
down.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, who was
There's-
you were looking? Are you looking around for exits or for whatever? I mean, how much energy are you putting into exploring?
Yeah, we should probably see if there's a way out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna walk around the circumference of the room as best as I can. I'll make, long enough to make I'm spending enough time to make a search roll if I need to.
What about the rest of you?
I'll search. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be looking at trying to find more.
I think I'm going to stay up on the rubble and keep an eye out both ways, like back the way we came and over the room as they search around. Just keep an overwatch
Okay.
if anything's coming around, moving.
Is
All
there
right.
anything interesting like on the walls?
Well, which of the three of you has the best search skill?
I've got 50.
I've got 80.
Okay.
So
You
I'll
roll
aid
it.
her.
Yeah, roll it plus 20. I mean, which is up to it'd be up to 100, but you're at
99.
minus 10, so
90.
you're at you're at whatever 90, and you're at minus 20 because you're in this awful suit. So that's going to be down to 70.
Yeah, by me.
Okay. You don't find any any exits that work or that aren't collapsed in on themselves, but I don't know. Roll a d3.
1.
Okay, so but Penelope, you as you're looking around, you find like there's one of these little whatever alcove that that's near the it's kind of near the whatever the arch, and you like some color in your flashlight beam catches your eye, and as you're looking in it, it looks like there's at first it looks like it's maybe feathers, and then you see there's like it's not really feathers as much as I don't know. It's weird. There's some like scales that are kind of feathery that have kind of
Attached to what exactly?
well just loose that have kind of whatever rubbed off or something.
Okay.
And
Give her a bag. If she
Yeah.
picks it up.
Specimen bag.
Yeah.
Scoop some of those up.
We'll collect
Okay.
those.
All right.
By the way, I think a lot of scientists nowadays are saying that dinosaurs had feathers.
Yes. It's pretty prevalent.
Now, this was 100 million years before dinosaurs, but
Well, we don't know if there's multiple time points it goes to or what.
yeah.
There's lots of Chinese fossils that were showing actual feathers.
It's an Archaeopteryx.
Maybe.
Maybe. Or a pterosaur.
I really want to stick my head in that gate.
Do it.
No, that's a terrible idea. I really want to.
Do it.
You have suicidal tendencies.
After we're done exploring the rest of the room, I'm definitely going to pick up that selfie stick and try and poke the camera through there. The dead camera
Through the mist.
through the mist.
Mm-hmm.
Does it pass through?
Yep.
Does it come back when I pull it out?
Is it horrifically wizened?
It's just a
No,
camera.
not any more than it was a minute ago.
Alright.
Stick your head in there.
I want to tie the rope around my waist.
Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it.
Do it. Do it.
Man, I'm getting such a rush off of this though. We have no idea what's over there.
I
We
have
don't.
terribly insatiable curiosity.
All right.
So I need you to do this.
So we will all three hold the other end of the rope.
Sure.
I mean, if you insist
I'm
on
pretty
doing
far
it.
away.
Yeah, you'll be at the very end of the row.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
All right.
Wait. So I'm done with this room. Is there anything else in this room?
No, I mean, it wasn't even a room.
It was like a little cubby.
Alcove, right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Alright.
we're
He's
gonna
going to
go.
tie off the rope. It's got a 50-foot
Make
rope.
another roll.
Before you're thinking about something.
No, that's
Okay.
too
And
busy watching my idiot
yeah,
companions.
if I pull on the rope 3
I'll
times,
drag you back.
just pull me out.
What if you just pull on it once or twice? What does that mean?
If I pull on it, I'll just pull me out.
Yes, kind of code.
Yeah.
If you feel any kind of pressure at all, just
Just pull me out.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna like walk through the center of this thing. I'm gonna hold on to the side of it as best as I can and just like
Lean in.
first I'm gonna put my hand through it. I'm not gonna stick my head in there
Does
first.
anything terrible happen to his hand?
This happened to me once in a D&D game and I lost a finger. So
Oh, oops.
In
Just
the
a
better
finger.
than losing a head.
yeah.
Put your hand in, and you feel a very slight sort of tugging sensation.
Like, come on in the rest of the way.
Water's fine.
Like as in
Like pull like an undertow or something.
like a difference in
Grab.
pressure sort of thing,
Or is something grasping his hand and
or like something's pulling on me.
No, not like something's grabbing you. It's just sort of
Like a
kind of like,
current.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go.
wants me in there.
So you pulled your hand back and it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got my shotgun
Uh-huh. Okay.
and I'm going in there.
Careful, Janet.
You were crazy.
Yep.
She's brave.
Last chance. Anybody that wants to talk her into it or out of it.
I'll try to persuade her not to do it.
Do it.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Do
We
this.
can. Maybe we should go get like a
No.
monkey and throw it in there first.
I have a
That's not a
successful
bad
persuasion.
idea.
It's not a bad idea
Or
to
chicken
go
or
get a
Yeah, just throw
get an
something
animal.
else.
Yeah.
on a rope.
Nothing bad happened to your hand.
Well, yet.
That's true too.
Well, I mean, but if there's something poisonous in the atmosphere there,
Hold your breath.
what
You're
if
in a
there is no
suit.
atmosphere?
You're in a suit. Hold your breath.
I think it's terrible.
I think it's
Radioactive
the best idea.
water comes out of it.
Yeah.
I say we go and
Come
get.
on.
Come back. Come back. Get an animal.
Ah.
I should go get some dynamite and come back and blow it up.
I don't know how that's gonna.
No.
It collapsed on itself and didn't destroy.
The thing
it.
with this is that it's probably a terrible idea to go into that thing if it's not working.
Well, maybe we
With
can
that
put the
cube
cube
nut.
on it, and then you go stick your
Okay.
hand
I'm
back
gonna
in.
put
Well,
the
see,
cube in this
the
slot.
thing is well, the thing with the cube is that there's 6 sides,
You had the cube.
but then
I
there's
have the
4
cube.
orientations for each side.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So that's like 24 different.
Yeah.
Possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tabitha, roll a d6.
1.
You put put it in there,
Mm-hmm.
and the mist vanishes. You see through the archway is just the ruined metal and stone on the other side of the arch.
Okay.
Your Geiger counters immediately stop clicking like crazy. The water stops flowing out of it.
That's good.
That is good.
Let's
Oh.
see. Is that it?
So you guys where's everybody when this is
He was
happening?
standing up by the gate.
Yeah.
You were,
And the rope around
you were
my
standing
head
back
was the
holding the
rope
rope. I
on
was
the
standing
rope.
back on the rubble still
Right.
holding the rope.
Yeah, I was no longer preparing to. My hand was not still on the gate when she closed it, if that's what you're
Yeah.
asking.
Okay. Okay.
We'll come back. We'll get it. We'll get a dog. Shove him through.
No, I think we're done here if it's closed.
There's still a crocodile thing somewhere.
crocodile, dinosaur,
Whatever that-
pterodactyl.
yeah.
Lizard man.
Whatever the thing was that's been eating people. I mean, it's not eating very many people. Maybe we could just leave it.
No.
This is America. Somebody will shoot it eventually.
Then I'll put it in Facebook. I'll put a
So,
picture on Facebook.
They
of
put
that standing
faith.
over
They
it.
put
Photo-
faith in the
Photoshop.
paper all the time.
Photoshop.
Well,
Maybe it was a were
Alright.
bulldozer.
So everybody's kind of focused on the arch.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the three of you go in the other room and pretend you're staring at a gate at the arch.
you three who? You three who are
Yep.
staring
Us
at the
three.
arch?
Those three.
Because you're on the rubble.
Yes.
Look at that.
The nice
view.
working with you, sir.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure and an honor.
Look, it is like an arch. Crazy.
So what they don't hear is you getting grabbed bodily from behind and yanked off of that arch down on or off of that
The
pile
rubble.
of rubble and down into the heart of the pile of rubble.
Oh, I think I'm toast.
Okay, so that's. Were you wearing body armor?
I would have had my bulletproof vest on probably for the best.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that.
He's going to feel the rope because I'm holding the rope at the end of the rope. So when I get grabbed, reflectively grab onto and get pulled back. So he'll just feel a yank on the rope.
You got that going for you. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Why don't you roll make a strength, either strength or dexterity, whichever's better.
Dexterity.
At times 5.
That succeeds.
Okay, so you kind of grab onto the thing. So I'm going to call it half damage in that case because you were holding onto the thing, and so the claws that have like sunk into you and they kind of scrape along the side of you and stick. So we'll call it 6 points, and that means you're only going to wind up taking 2. Yeah. And so instead of hauling you, it just sort of scrapes along your rib cage. Yeah, and then it lets go of you because it sort of scrapes, and probably comes away with shreds of your NBC suit, but you sort of tumble back,
Well, I'm gonna, as soon as I can.
yelling and screaming.
Yeah,
I don't know.
screaming.
Okay,
And
everybody
scrambling
else.
towards them.
Yeah. You can all come back in because Dressner is back there. There was a sudden tug on the rope the end of the rope he was holding, and then he's screaming like a maniac.
Oh goodness.
I'm turning around. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, we're all looking.
I'm lying
Yeah.
flat on the top of the rubble, screaming my head off.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna run over there and see what's wrong with you.
Let's not do any running yet.
Oh.
I want to know dexterity scores.
Oh,
Okay, 13.
9.
13.
13.
Also, lots of 13. I got 13 over here too.
That's funny.
So I'll tell you what. Everybody make, you three who have the 13s, will make opposed dexterity tests. So you're wanting to roll high, but under your dex.
So,
Dex times 5 rather.
48.
Oh, no.
60.
Blackjack roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't make
You
it.
want to roll high,
High?
as close to 65 as you can.
Without going
Or,
over?
or doubles.
Or double.
No, I did not.
Even better. All right. I got a 64.
Oh my
Damn
god.
it.
Wow.
You go first. I got a 59.
That is just unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the dice hate you.
That's bigger.
Okay.
So you get eaten by a pterosaur.
So the
Let's see.
oh wait, I have a handout. It sounds kind of like that, but about 100 times worse.
Oh my god. And you're still screaming?
I'm screaming and scrabbling towards you across the top of the rubble.
Here we go.
Okay.
You guys don't have a really good. But you know what? You just see. You'll see that in a moment.
Okay.
Because what you see right now is the shape of some big head that looks really dinosaur-like, like lunging back up, trying to get a better grip on
Oh
him.
my god.
On him?
Yes, where it had tried to grab him before.
I'm desperately psychological.
All right, roll that dodge.
Alright, let's see.
At minus what?
It's a fail anyway.
Okay. So 64. I'm going to give him a penalty because of the unsteadiness of the rubble that you're both perched on.
Does he get
Which-
stabbed by a thing too?
Which means it sort of is scrabbling at you and just barely doesn't manage to latch onto you. And the rest of you, in your sort of flashlight beams shifting around as they kind of zero in, it looks a lot like that.
Oh my god. What the shit? What is that?
It's a dinosaur. I called it. It's a dinosaur.
So that was the top of Dex 13. You tried to dodge and failed, so you're done. Dex 13?
I had a 48 on my roll.
I failed.
Okay. So
Okay. So I've got scatter shot loaded in my shotgun. I'm gonna try and get as close as I can in my monkey suit and
Take a shot.
take a shot to where this was like what 20 feet into the room. So
you're not that far.
yeah,
You can take a few steps over.
I'll take a few steps and then aim and shoot. I'm aiming over his head.
Are you aiming for taking a couple of seconds to aim, so you lose this turn and get a plus 20 next time, or are you just taking your shot?
Just shotgun.
You're already going to get a plus 20.
Yeah, it's a shotgun. I've got scatter shot in there, so I'm just gonna shoot at it.
All right.
So I'm at
roll at a plus 20 and
at a minus 20 because of the suit.
yeah, but I'll balance that off because it's pretty big.
Okay.
So it's plus 20.
All right. So 49. So that's a success.
All right. Okay, so roll your damage.
10. Oh, it's 50 meters for scatter shot.
Doesn't
It's
sound
the
that's
base.
that's the effective range.
You
That's,
could-
No, it says the base range was 50.
that's what I mean. You don't suffer a penalty up to that to hit,
But it's still
the damage drops off at 10, I think.
Oh, okay.
But you're less than 10
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Big money, big money.
No whammies.
6.
Okay, because it's shot, its armor counts for double,
Right.
which
Just
means
annoyed.
that you don't get it full center. You sort of You see sparks of most of your pellets hitting like the concrete beyond it, and it kind of flinches, but it's really intent on eating the thing that's right there. And who else was it? 13. You haven't gone yet.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have my 9mm out and shoot at it.
All right, make another dex roll to see if you successfully get the weapon out in time to use it this
Okay.
very same turn.
Because I had said I'd had it out.
Yeah.
I didn't have it out. I did. I mean, 50
Okay.
for it. I got
All
it.
right, sure. Take a shot, unless you want to wait and aim first.
No. Am I at minus 10?
Mm-hmm. And no bonuses because it's not a shotgun.
No.
All right, so you pop off a few shots and
Go wild.
to no immediate effect. And let's see, not Tabitha but Harley. Suddenly, there's a dinosaur and gunfire all around
I'm gonna scream.
and screaming.
More screaming.
It's screaming
Can I
fast
have
enough.
Yeah. Oh, sanity rolls.
Alright.
No, because dinosaur.
There's
Right?
a fucking dinosaur from
Uh,
Oh my
okay.
god. No, I failed.
You make
Ah,
it.
straight
You make
up.
it. You don't lose any.
No, I did
It's just-
not make
All right.
I'm too busy trying to survive to worry about dinosaurs
So
existing.
you need to make your own separate sanity roll because of being attacked and
Sure.
grabbed from
Oh, that one
out of
failed.
nowhere.
That one failed.
So lose a D4 just out of the sheer terror
I
of
agree.
being yanked. So if you want to knock that off of the bond, you can. Otherwise, just take it
Yeah, I'm gonna
as usual. Okay.
Now keep in mind that if you do lose it, you could probably put yourself a check mark on helplessness because you wouldn't go insane.
That's true.
Of course, if you use the willpower and you still lose sanity off of it, you can still give yourself a check
It's
mark.
your call.
I'm gonna try to
All right. So roll the D6.
You'll
Four,
lose.
so no sanity, and instead
4 willpower.
4 willpower, and knock one of your
2.
bonds down by 2. Okay, so those two of you failed the dinosaur test. It's a D6 loss.
4.
You can also do the same.
Do you want
So
to knock
once
it off?
again, if you want to, you can try to bond it out and reduce the impact.
I'm gonna take it off my mentor who recruited me into this
It's
culture.
true.
Screw
You
that
called
guy.
him for advice, and he was like, "Yeah, we set you up for this."
He had this dinosaur in
So
mind.
how does that work?
Maybe not
Well,
this very
what it means is
dinosaur.
that you're
I
basically
think dinosaur light was probably.
you're
in the
holding it
future.
together in the moment by thinking about, somebody.
You may not even be thinking consciously
Right,
about
it's
a
just
bond,
somehow
but
it's
it's
connecting.
the way that the damage processes is later.
Okay.
You're going to be.
It's gonna hurt.
But how?
So
Okay,
you'll still-
so
if you can roll a d6
One.
and see how much you.
Yeah, you lose.
Yeah, because you lost
Right,
5.
lost five.
So you lose a
Oh,
point
I
of
did
sanity,
already.
lose 4
I lost
willpower.
4.
Well, you don't
Two
have
off
to.
of one of
That's
your
the thing
bonds.
is you can do this instead of losing.
yeah, that's what I want to do. So okay, so what do I lose?
So you roll a d6.
And you can give yourself a check
So
mark
you
on
don't lose any
helplessness
sanity.
too, because
You lose
you
4
literally
willpower.
can
Yeah, I can't.
not do anything in
Does
this
that bring you to
situation.
0 willpower?
No.
Does it bring you to 2 or 1 willpower?
No,
She's very willful.
All right.
I'm very willful.
And you lose
And-
2 points off of a bond.
Yeah, choose a bond, and later we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Now, since I
If you
had
survive.
a firearm
If you survive.
ready in this turn, can I pop off multiple shots? Or
No, it's with a shotgun. It's just 1 shot per round. And
okay,
if you're using like she's using a pistol and she's firing, whatever, a few shots per attack roll,
Right.
because of the kind of pistol she's using, the kind of weapon she's using. But it's just 1 attack roll.
okay. I remembered in regular Call of
Yeah, there's
Cthulhu,
other
it was
versions
like
where you
twice
can
your
roll
dex,
for it.
and
Yeah,
you know.
right. Yeah. Okay. So so where were we?
She was screaming.
Or Harley rather.
Screaming.
Okay. So you don't lose control of yourself, right? So
Right.
do you want to take any action here?
I'm gonna pick up a rock and throw it. I have literally nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to go and
Would I have brought
maybe
that?
change since this happened with the block. Maybe take the chain, go and make a run
I-
for the gold.
No,
No?
I'd leave that.
I'd leave that there.
Stopped whatever
Okay.
it was. The radioactive water is stopped. That's
I don't
all.
want another
But
one
the
coming
dinosaur's
through.
here. Okay, all right. Just a thought.
I'm reasonably sure that was already here.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm
Okay.
gonna throw
So you're
a
going to
rock
look around and find a nice big hefty slab of concrete to pick up.
at anything.
Okay.
With
Yeah.
your what?
All right.
two
Roll
string-
roll search.
That's not great. Nope.
Give yourself a
You're
check.
scavenging. Yeah, make it a check. Yeah, you scavenge around for this few seconds without picking up anything useful, and then there's the fear. Okay, so that's the turn. So next
Roll
turn.
off again.
Yeah, let's do another dex off to see who gets to go first. Best of 5. Roll
20.
high or doubles.
Oh yeah, I made it 53 this one.
So 53,
20.
20, 01.
Nice.
Oh no, because I failed.
Well, but we can
You
at
can do
least
4.
have the chance to do something.
You got
So-
a critical success,
Yeah.
buddy.
Hmm?
You got an 01. That's a critical.
Oh, one's a critical?
01 or
Oh,
doubles.
okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
He's going to attack. I'm going to try to dodge.
We'll assume you've been scurrying and
I've been just
scrabbling.
trying to throw myself to the other side of that rubble if at all possible. I'm just
Sure.
rolling down the. I don't care about the suit. I don't care
Yeah.
about getting cut up.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Get away from the
All right.
dinosaur gnashing of teeth.
All right. So you can roll dodge. You don't have to take a penalty on it. And I'm still going to give him the penalty for scrabbling. If your roll succeeds, then obviously
Right.
unless he criticals you won't your way off the side.
no, I do not succeed.
Okay. Once again, the unevenness keeps him from latching onto you and snapping at you. And
Too much screaming.
you're up
I'm
next.
shooting again.
Okay. This is your second barrage.
-2.
No, it's
No, you're good.
no. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Are you giving yourself a check mark, by the way?
No.
This is for firearm skill. So we're in that box. We'll check it. I'm sure you failed at that.
All right. If you fail and it's doubles, you have to tell me.
fumble. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't. It's 75.
Okay. And you're up.
Yeah.
What? Wait!
Yeah, it's still scattershot in there. I'm not going to take the time to reload yet.
No.
Something better. But
At least a 19. That's
I'll make it. I'm going to keep it. Stick it with the net. What was I saying? Plus 20.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 36. So another success.
All
So
right.
2d10. 15.
Nice. That's better.
That's much better. felt that a little anyway, maybe.
Maybe just get its attention off him and onto you, maybe? I don't know.
Well,
Okay. All right. So yeah, you put a shot almost dead center, and it kind of staggers and makes this horrendous screeching sound. And you're still scrabbling
Yep.
for.
Rocks, something, anything. Yeah, see.
All right.
Find a rock.
You
Or
come up
something.
with a jagged piece of concrete that's not just heavy enough, but not too heavy.
I'm gonna throw it. What do I roll for throw? Unarmed combat?
Athletics.
No. Awesome. Nope. Oh,
Yes, you did.
yeah, I do.
One.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah?
What'd you get?
You got
7.
7, yeah.
0-7. All right.
7.
All right. Sure. Roll. What's your strength score?
9.
Okay. So roll a d4.
1.
Okay. So
That's about right.
So it kind of, you hurl it over there and it bonks off of its side, and okay. So a new turn.
You're doing better than I am with my gun. Damage is higher than who I am with my gun.
39.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
49.
Oh,
Dexterity again.
right. Ooh, 80.
All right,
so
so
39. So 49. You're first then.
glad I brought this shotgun.
Shot number 3, I think.
Shot 3, yeah. All right. 97. So that's a failure.
All right. And
It was completely white.
yep. Come on, Dressner. What are you thinking?
What are you thinking?
You at least marked that dodge, right?
Oh, yeah.
Long since.
Hey,
Multiple done.
Yeah. All right.
It's too bad you can't mark it multiple times.
Once again, he sort of snaps and snaps. I think this is enough time that you're even failing your dodges. You're kind of
Making way down.
You kind of come up and manage to tumble off the side and crash into the water and muck.
At that point, I'll
down
start
there where
scrabbling for
everyone
my
else
pistol,
is.
too.
And yeah, all right. And so what are you doing?
yeah, I'm just gonna shoot it.
All right, this is your third barrage. You've got 15 shots, but each attack is using 3 bullets for you. So
Oh, it
Good
is?
5 shots.
yeah. So you
Alright.
only have 2
Nope.
attacks left.
Nope.
It's all noise, though. In this space, I'm sure it's really noisy.
All right, and
I'm basically shooting
Harley?
like this.
yeah.
Harley's gonna look for another rock. Yeah, I'm doing better than she is. And failing.
Okay. All right.
By 1.
So next turn, you get 13 times. Remember your penalties for your heavy ass
All right.
stuff.
So 13.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
19.
13, 19,
45, I mean.
45, and minus 20, 28. So you go first.
Okay. I'm going to try to pull out my pistol.
Sure. Make a dex roll again.
No.
Okay, so
That
you
fumble.
can. You fumble. Okay, so you get your pistol out and it goes
Flies.
skittering away into the water over there somewhere.
Yeah.
And the thing up there kind of hisses and then backs off out of sight.
Gee, that's comforting. The only thing worse than
you
seeing
can-
a
you can
fucking
hear-
dinosaur is no longer
Can you hear? I don't know if
seen.
you can hear anything. And who's got the really great alertness?
Oh,
Everybody can roll
50.
alertness.
I fail.
At minus 20 because of the pursuit
Yeah,
stuff.
I fail.
I got I minus 20?
Yep.
No, I failed.
Okay.
If we fail because of the suit penalty, do we still get a check mark?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, it backs
We
up
should
out of
actually
sight.
probably be more than minus 20 because we just fired all of these shots
Yeah,
in
yeah.
such
For
a
hearing, you probably should be.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
The suit probably absorbs some of that noise,
Yeah.
so I'll live with it.
We need to get the fuck out of here as soon as possible.
Yeah,
good
well,
luck with a fucking dinosaur.
Well, change
and-
reload with
yeah.
slugs.
You need to get
yeah.
out
Well,
and
once
blow it
you
up
get
your
your
right.
gun and you two have your handguns chained up there, I'll reload with slugs.
Yeah, Dressner's suit his
Shredded.
NBC suit is shredded
My
on the
suit
side.
underneath that is shredded.
On the side, yeah,
And you see scrapes down my
he's covered in
Anyone
blood.
know
It's pooling
first
at the
aid
bottom
better
of
than me?
his-
Yeah.
Of his
Yeah, we don't have a doctor. We really
suit,
want a
of
doctor.
his boots.
Just try.
I'll do what I can for you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to wait and get a real doctor to do first aid, that you might be better
Yeah,
off.
I mean, I'm not in danger of dying right now.
Right.
I just need to get back in.
But so
Okay.
you don't have to do first aid.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll
It's
hold
up to
off
you.
then.
No, I don't think we should. We should get a doctor.
Okay, well,
You can start going to those Red Cross classes between adventures.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what we start working on for.
okay, well,
And
I
then
guess-
sort of fighting skills.
I'll climb up there first again with my shotgun in the lead.
Okay.
Before I get to the very top, I want to just wait for a moment and then just listen. Actually, you know what? The Geiger counter went off. I'm taking my radiation suit off.
Well, we can check. It's not reading anything
It's not
now. We just
clicking.
turn it off.
Yeah, I'm taking my radiation suit off. This is just getting in
I
the way
agree.
now.
Okay.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yours is ridiculous.
Shredded anyway. I mean, let's do the
Yeah.
grenades off.
so I'll get up as close, like about halfway up, and I'll just stop and I'll listen to see if I hear like
Breathing.
breathing or hissing or whatever, like immediately on the other side of this thing waiting for us to climb over.
Okay. What's your alertness?
50?
He's taking his time.
You don't hear anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Your ears are still kind of ringing though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll pick up a rock and I'll chunk it over.
All right. You hear clatter, clatter, splash.
But nothing that sounds like movement or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, there's sort of a shuffling sound, but you think that might be one of them behind you. You're good at stealth.
No.
Yeah, definitely one of them behind you.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna stealth myself up to the top. I've got a 31 in it, so
It's a chance.
it's better than nothing.
Almost
It's
one.
almost 1-3.
There you go.
So,
Which is lower, stealth or athletics for you?
Athletics is lower.
athletics is at a 30.
All right,
So it's lower by 1 point.
Yeah. So roll that. And, you get a plus 20 taking your time.
Okay.
Climber and roll this before.
72.
All right. So take a point of damage, cutting your hands or shins or something
Okay.
on the jagged stuff, and you get up to the top and shine your flashlight down that tunnel, and you don't see anything terrifying down there.
Looks clear right now.
Let's
Oh,
go.
great. Where did it go?
That's a good question.
Well, it's outside. It goes outside, obviously, so the print.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in the little side room. That's the only thing you can hide in between here and there.
Either that or it ran all the way out.
Yeah.
But come on. So I'll clamber down to the bottom
Cover.
and cover everyone as they're climbing over.
Very slowly.
All right. So everybody roll athletics at plus 20.
Plus 10 for me.
Yep.
I'm going to go really slow. Like,
Yeah,
incredibly
I assume
slow.
that's why you get the plus 20.
All right.
Done.
Oh, I got
A fumble.
a really bad fumble.
No.
You also fumbled?
0, 0, 0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right. Slide, fall, crack your head.
You're
The
unconscious.
two of you
That's
take a D4.
Oh my god.
I will be unconscious.
Oh.
Nope.
22. 1.
Ow.
So what happens when you drop to 1?
If you go to 1 or 2, you pass out.
Well, he's
You're
been at
otherwise incapacitated.
Well, I'm past it.
Does that bring you down to 2?
To 1 now.
To 1 now? Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're sort of, as you're clambering over there, you manage to
Claw my head.
Smack your
Yeah,
head, really.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try first aid at this point. Just because,
What else are you going to do? I know.
I mean, with this.
Got to get them out. The 3 of us with our 9 strength. Can't get them out.
Yeah, just remove the
You
body.
can do it. Take a plus 20 for taking lots of extra time if you're doing that, or if you're in a
Yeah.
hurry.
And getting some bad advice from these guys.
Well, I'm taking over the rifle while he's first aid.
The
She's
shotgun.
first aiding. Yeah, the
I
shotgun.
have a tourniquet here. Put it on his head.
Not his neck. 28.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, so get a D3 back.
Nice. Oh my god.
It's a 2 point.
That's the 3. I'm unconscious.
Just you're
Just
barely
barely.
holding it together.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you the shotgun
Yeah.
back.
All right. Let's.
I'll give you my pistol because there's no way I'm
Okay.
except halfway along trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
I have no firearms skills.
Well, at the base, which is what
20.
20. Yeah.
1 and 5. So, all right. Well,
Unless I mean, can I? Do you think I'm capable of shooting? If I can try a shot, I'll probably keep it because I have a better shot than she's on.
I offered her my pistol earlier and she didn't want it,
All
but
right.
I think she should
Well,
have
right
it
now.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, there's a fucking dinosaur.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give her my pistol. You
After
keep
your
your
rock
pistol.
pinged off of it.
I did better than you.
You did better than he did.
And I put it in your hand and I'm like, point, shoot. That's the basics.
Just make sure
Don't
that
put your finger on the trigger unless you're
Absolutely.
ready to fire. Never point at any of us.
That's it. That's your quick.
That's it. There's your schooling.
I'm like gingerly holding it, trying not to.
Set it up back.
Yeah.
You will hurt more people by being afraid of it than you will by being not afraid of it.
That makes it worse.
That's true.
So,
That's
So-
what you should do in your off time. Time to shoot guns.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to take our time going down this, especially as we get closer to that side room. You know, I doubt that it's lurking there, but we're not going to take that chance.
Yeah, do we hear it?
As we get closer, do we hear the ticking of his makeshift Geiger counter in there?
Well, it's probably not ticking anymore.
But I mean, it's like it always gives off a little once every so many seconds ping, doesn't it? Or is it not? I think it like click, click.
you don't
Underground.
you don't hear
Don't hear that.
You don't hear it coming as you're coming closer to the little.
Do we hear a dinosaur
I think
purring?
that could mean it's not radioactive, or it could mean that they went in there and knocked it over.
Yeah.
Do we hear anything?
Be very careful as you're person.
Who's in the lead?
That'd be me with the shotgun.
Roll alertness.
Nope.
I mean you're going. You're going
Depends
out,
on-
and
Oh well, if am I getting any bonuses for them being there?
no, because
No.
they're
Make
scuffling
a noise.
along, making
Okay.
noises and whimpering and breathing hard.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's a failure.
Okay. So
Came
know,
along to do research.
you can see the gap is up ahead there,
That came
and
along.
your flashlight beam.
There's no go. See.
Yeah.
You tell me what you do.
I'll shine the light on the door
Yeah.
as you approach. I'll shine my light on the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the opposite side of the tunnel, and I'm just gonna
Cover
point
it.
my shotgun at it. I don't think there's anything in there, but I'm not gonna
I'm gonna look up
take
at
that
this
chance.
point. Is there anything at the ceiling?
No, it doesn't.
It's hanging up there like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Well, yeah, sometimes.
Thanks, yeah.
I mean, this is a straight tunnel, right? So,
Not really.
Not really?
It's kind of jigs because the damage to it.
so there's not light at the end of the tunnel yet.
Right.
Yeah, someone should definitely be pointing their flashlight that way too.
Okay.
But
All right. So you point your shotgun, and you might even have you might have one of the flashlight attached
light
to the
thing.
clip on the front of the shotgun if you want. You can do that
Sure.
if you want. So you point into the little utility room in there, and you can see where that little crate
crunch.
is set up with the makeshift Geiger counter is like tumbled over, and the little machine is in disarray down there, and you can see a trail of blood sort of leading in and around the corner, which means that if it's still there, it's got to be just out of sight because that room wasn't all that big.
yeah. Well, I guess I'll lunge around the corner and let off a shot blindly.
Oh, okay. Was not expecting that. All right.
Neither was the dinosaur.
Let's find out.
You just killed a person.
We'll, yeah.
I'm okay with that, really.
Yeah. Make a dex roll.
All right.
No penalties this time because you took off your bulky NBC suit.
Failure. Not a fumble, but a failure.
You know what? Get plus 20.
Still a failure.
Come on, Kush.
Failed by 4.
All right, so you failed by 4, but it actually failed by more than that. So, sure enough, it looks like that.
Yeah.
And it was sort of hunched down in there, and as you whip around the corner, right immediately, you can get your shot.
Right in the face.
All right.
Roll it plus 20.
Plus 20. All right. Pass. Yeah, it's a hit.
So what's the damage with the slug?
With the slug, it is 2d6.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hey, what did we keep the slug?
Very nice.
Why did we keep the
Very
slug?
nice. First grade class. Gotta have the
Because of the armor.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Right. Oh, that's right. Not that far.
Yeah, and like we could see that the shot was bouncing off of the table. All right.
Okay, how many hours are you
8.
taking?
Okay. Are you wearing any kind of body armor?
I've got my regular body armor on.
Oh, it's not dead?
The
What
3
damage
armor
did
points
it do?
worth.
Okay.
Kevlar vest.
All right.
It's not just not
Scaly.
So it picks me up around my chest.
So you and as it sort of grabs you in its mouth and lifts you up, but it doesn't get enough of it. It doesn't clamp down all the way before you sort of tear loose and go flying and tumbling to the floor.
Doesn't get a really good grip.
Right. So you take 5 minus 3 for your thing is 2 points of damage,
All right.
and and hit the ground somehow, not snapped in half.
That's crazy.
Wow. All right, and they all had guns
out
out.
ready, so let's shoot.
Was everybody else aiming into the thing at that
I
point?
was, because I had my flashlight on the door.
I think the only person
You were
who wasn't
looking
was
down
her
the hall.
because she was looking down the hall. But that thing is,
Just stuck its head out the hall.
yeah.
All right.
And because I was on the opposite side of this 12-foot wide corridor,
Yeah.
so if it got to me, it's all the
It's in
way
the hall.
out.
Those of you who are blazing away at it, roll up to plus 20.
Plus 20. Okay. I can do this.
Okay, roll your damage.
And, I did! I get it! What does a pistol do?
Awesome.
All right.
It's a
It'd
D10.
be a D10.
Missed it by 2.
Give yourself a... well...
Yeah, I've done it. Plenty of time.
2.
Okay. So,
It's armor.
yeah. So you all start blazing away at it, and it's kind of lurching there and making this horrendous sort of high shrieking sound, and it's just sort of looming, even curled up like it is. And
Space.
and we're back to Dex 13s at the top of the turn. So let's see. 10 succeeds. All right.
Easily.
Yeah.
First one of those I made.
It failed.
Big money. No, not that. Oh, that's a fumble.
All right.
Okay.
Not that big!
Yeah, 43. Got it.
Okay, so you're first.
I'm so sick of shooting at this thing and missing it.
Just throw your gun at it.
I know.
You
I
can
know.
You can aim. I mean,
Oh, how many bullets?
You would have reloaded before we
15.
left.
Yeah, I expect
Well,
you to put
5
it in
rounds.
put it
Okay,
in
so
magazine
down
then.
to
You've got 4 now.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But you can take, if you want to take a round to aim, plus 20 next time you shoot.
Mhm.
I'll take a round to aim.
Okay.
Stronger beat on the side.
Yeah.
All right, you're next.
I'm just going to shoot. Because it's going to hit 20 over.
All right. D10.
9. That's a better shot.
Good. Why don't you stay right here?
Yeah, you put it full of lead. Yeah, you put a whole lot of bullets into it, and it kind of staggers and flops to the ground, kind of with its giant legs sort of scrabbling and and twitching on the ground.
Kill it some more.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get up and put my shotgun like 3 feet away from its head and slug it in the tiny brain pan.
Okay.
That's as big as my head.
All right. You don't need to roll for that. And it kind of lurches there, but it's too weakened and stunned to do anything about it. And you can put a shell through it, or put a slug through its head.
Right. Now to make dinosaur skin boots.
What is wrong with you? You are terrible.
That's how I'm coping with all of
Sounds like I think I'm unaware the creatures like it. Alright, well, we're gonna stagger on out of here and.
I'm gonna start wailing and never stop.
Still take
Um,
grab it with my phone.
Okay, so
Your phone's fried.
action
Oh,
plan.
yeah, that is not-
Yes.
First, we need to go back to town. Get
Find a
some,
doctor.
get patched up, especially you.
Yeah.
Okay, mountain climbing axe.
Fell down like a ravine.
Yeah.
There's a dinosaur at the bottom.
We will get a U-Haul van because we got it.
Are we gonna seal this? I mean, how do we?
We need to.
We gotta do something with this dinosaur.
Well, sure, we have to get rid of the body of that somehow. But
Well, we need to send the evidence to home base.
Each of you can get a d6 or add a d6 to sanity.
I haven't lost.
4. That's more than I lost.
It's fine. One of them bring
Actually, yeah, no, I hadn't lost any because I used it all on willpower.
Yeah.
So,
You need to make a con roll.
Yes. Straight.
Okay. You're not going to suffer some permanent cripplement for getting torn to pieces.
That's good.
that is good. Alright, first, let's get you back to town and get you patched up. I think we could all use a little bit of patching.
Right.
Well, I know I can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
everyone
do.
can,
Yeah,
right?
I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Well, the three
I'm
of us
not-
are hurt from falling on the
Yeah.
rubble.
I never fell. I never got hurt.
Okay.
Aside from,
Librarians.
So-
my
Sore
voice
vocal
hurting.
cords.
We will come back with cameras, take photographic evidence of this. I'll call Grunberg with the disposaphone because our phones are broken, but I'm sure we can buy
Yeah.
pay by the minute phone around here
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
and find out if they want
Tell
to
us the situation,
keep
see what they
the
want to
dinosaur or if they
or the
just want us
keys or
to
anything.
blow it up,
Yeah.
collapse this tunnel.
What do you want us to do with this dead dinosaur we've got?
All
So-
right. Yeah. So he tells you to. I mean, first, as he sort of implies really clearly once you start talking that you need to speak in code and
Right.
innuendo and not
Yeah.
say important things out loud. But you
Stop saying
you
that.
get
Do we have
the
a Barney?
I mean, I've been
Yeah.
I've been in the agency long enough.
yeah. So you can ask him what you want. What should I do with this animal? He communicates pretty clearly to just stay there and keep everyone else out of there, and we'll send a repair crew over.
Okay. All right. Well,
I can't believe we all survived this.
Well, it was very close.
with that, then I'm gonna buy some camping gear and
Camp out there and watch the.
yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna recuperate.
So
in the
you
hospital.
go into the Furnace Creek first to talk to the doctor.
Well, I
And
mean,
go back out. Or?
so
Yeah.
we had all of our phones were fried,
right.
So
You
we
would
had
have
to
to
go
go
to
back to town
Furnace
anyway
Creek
just to get
just
the
to get phones.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. So the first aiding that goes around.
I've had first aid on this.
is it?
I need medicine.
Okay. So first aid, if you haven't had
Is it one per injury still, or just one total?
It's just one until you take more damage.
Okay.
So who's eligible?
These
for
two
first
is
aid?
not. They are
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna make it a 70%. And that sucks for you. And you get a D3 hit points back.
So that's a 1, a 2 is a 1.
Mm-hmm. And put the little check mark on the back that says you've had first aid. After that, like you're still at what, 3 hit points at this point, and so yeah, I mean they clearly want you to want to call in the helicopter from the nearest city and the nearest town and get you a helicopter
Okay with
out
that. I mean,
to
that
it.
way of a cover story. I fell down a ravine
Right.
while hiking, so.
That bit you.
Well, it's going to be scrapes, right? It's claws. What it must like.
What do you tell the two of them? Like they're not full-fledged agents of the program.
They're friendly.
The way the two of you are.
They are.
So you've got instructions from Grunberg, but what do you do with them? I mean, he's going out on a helicopter. You know, within a few hours, he'll be loaded up on a helicopter taken to the nearest
I gave you the keys.
the nearest hospital.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That was literally crazy.
So what do you tell them as they're in the interim? After you've spoken to Grunberg and you have a chance to get back with them, how many hit points are you down?
Me?
Yeah.
3.
Okay, so you've probably got an arm in a sling or something at this point, and you're pretty banged up, but you'll probably be okay within a few days. So you have a chance to kind of get them in a room together and compare notes,
Yeah.
or debrief, or whatever you want to give instructions you want to give them, or you
Go
tell us
Yeah.
what you're doing.
I'm gonna buy camping gear for the 3 of us. Say, come on, we got. Let's go camping, guys.
I'm not going back out there. Are you kidding me? Dinosaurs.
Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
Well, not around them.
Well, not like around
Right.
other people, but you come to me and ask me if I want to go camping. I'm like, fuck you.
Listen, we're the last line of defense between the people around here
And that's
and things like that. If we don't go out there and we don't protect these people, no one's going to. Personally, I believe that if there were more than one of these creatures
More people.
out there, there would be more people dead.
yeah.
I think that we've taken care of the problem, but I want to be safe, and I want to make sure that no one accidentally comes across that and their life has changed like our lives have been changed.
Can I forget this?
You cannot
I
forget
do
this.
If you-
You
if
lost
you-
sanity, didn't you? Make a sanity test.
I have amnesia.
Let's find out.
Pass.
Okay. Yeah, you remember all too well.
Dinosaur.
Yeah. If you come with me, I can explain to you tonight the things I've seen and this organization that you're a part
Oh,
of.
well, shit. Now I'm curious. Okay, I guess. Okay, how sure are you that there aren't more?
75% sure.
Okay.
That's fair.
We only found the one set of tracks leading out of there.
2 deaths.
Only 2 deaths
Over the course of a month.
over 2
Yeah,
months.
so I think it's eating animals probably too.
So its mouth caused the sawing through of the limbs?
Or maybe
Yeah, it
claws
bit-
shoot things off or bit them off.
Yeah, it probably bit the arms
Stepped
off.
on them.
I found them in-
Got a bite.
Then
You
decided.
two were pretty confident it could have done any of that to you really easily. If
Okay.
it had gotten if you'd been slightly less lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sheer force.
Let
of
me
its
tell you,
mouth-
from someone that's been in that thing's mouth, it could completely have done to me what it did to poor Potter
Yeah.
and the other lady.
Goodbye, arms.
Come on, let's go out there tonight. It's just one night. All of us ladies under the stars. Telling a scary campfire joke.
Totally scary campfire. All right, I say we
Remember
stop
what
and
happened
get
6 hours ago? Pretty fucking scary, right?
and get a 6-pack of beer.
So we got
Right there.
our pink Hello Kitty sleeping bags.
You do.
I don't think so.
Fleece lined.
I'm pretty sure mine would be Harry Potter. I'm British.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Who's got the best alertness?
50.
50.
Alright. G wants to roll it at 50.
I don't like alertness. Why are we alert? Why are we being alerted?
Because
might
we're going
hear
to be eaten
something.
by another goddamn dinosaur.
Yeah, go ahead, roll it.
She doesn't
I don't have it. I have
Oh, you
20.
don't?
No.
One of
You
you.
got 50.
I've got 50.
My dice are cursed. You roll.
83.
Well, you're nowhere near as alert as you probably ought to be. You realize as you start sort of dropping off, and when it's your turn to stay up, but nothing comes out to get you.
Okay.
Roll sanity.
Oh, right.
Because you're trying to sleep.
Insomniac.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Finally.
Well, you managed to pass out.
Somehow or other. Because I didn't sleep the night
Nervous
before.
exhaustion.
And so the next morning,
Well, over the course of the night, I briefed them on most of what happened. Like last time, I don't include the human sacrifice for obvious reasons.
all right.
I don't include the fact that there is a copper bowl and knife in my backpack.
Just in case.
I'm fascinated by that story because that's more.
We'll talk about Polynesian
experience.
temple and all the ritual and everything.
Yeah, that we told the. I tell them that we wound up having to summon this dark man. I'll tell them what happened. I just won't tell them how it happened.
Okay.
So if they want to deduce that I'm not telling them the whole truth,
Well, make a persuade roll, Bailey.
okay.
Yeah,
See how-
it's
how
gonna be
effectively
that's gonna
you
be
communicate
tough
all that.
for me. I
The
mean,
weight
we're
of it.
pretty familiar with you.
And
Yeah.
anthropology. The
Yes.
combination means you know
I
shit.
pass.
Okay, so both of you roll sanity.
For hearing this horrible story.
Ooh, fail.
I pass.
That's
Okay.
disturbing. You didn't want to hear that.
Once again,
did not
you
wanna
can
hear
burn
that.
up. You can burn up a bond, or you can
No.
just suck it up.
Haunted houses are real.
2.
53. Is anybody hitting your breaking point on sanity?
Nowhere near.
All right.
It's stable.
Well-
I'm more stable than
You know,
I've
it's
ever been.
interesting that, like, after you hit a breaking point, you can actually increase the amount of sanity between you and your next breaking point.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're insane.
But
Right.
I've never even come close after seeing all this.
Or if you could, even if you didn't
Keep
hit your
control
breaking
of it.
point.
It's been near things, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But you've got
I've got faith
confidence in
and family.
I would think the first one was hard on you, harder than this one was.
Oh yeah, no, that was horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
So the next morning, the helicopters start coming out. They're all like Park Service and EPA labeled, and the teams that start getting off of them are, like really obviously hardcore military guys that have EPA things on them that are obviously not EPA labeled guys at all. And they come in and get the basics and look sort of suitably half impressed and half skeptical until they start looking around
And find that dinosaur.
and then look all the way impressed. They set up an EPA perimeter all around the whole area, and set up some heavy machinery to start extracting things and digging out that
The arch.
yeah. And
So
and once they go to work, they send the three of you. They send the three of you off for debriefing and then eventually to get cut loose.
So they'll get the dragonfly out of the car and all that stuff. All the notes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
unless you got something you're trying to withhold,
Not
in
at all.
which case, tell me.
No, I'm happy. There's nothing I can really. I don't need.
You don't need
I don't-
$63 million.
Yeah.
It's hard to sell a giant thing like
You'd
that on the
think
black
that.
market.
Well, but you would have to keep it quiet, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna worry about that.
All right. Okay, so eventually that's it. So you can. Why don't you make a note on the back there somewhere? Just indicate that you ended the last. You ended the whatever Hellbend mission hospitalized, and we'll factor that into the long term, the homing scenes when the time comes.